Dacos did get some free kicks, which I would suggest were there. But yeah, tagging's been a part of our game for a long time. If people carry on, like last week was the first time anyone's tagged someone. Happens in most games. Small defenders are playing on small forwards exactly the same way week in, week out. It's part of our game, and it's a tactic you can look to expose the opposition in, and teams clearly use it to deny opposition's best players. Like, not here just to allow the opposition's best players to run around and get as many kicks as they like.
Just a couple quick ones to finish with. You've been great with your time today, Justin. Alex Pearce, an update on him. How's he tracking? That obviously that shin stress he's got is a bit of a touchy one.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit slower than we would have hoped at the start, which is cost him maybe a week or two longer than we'd liked. But it's tracking really well. He's out there running around training now. Fingers crossed, and high expectations that he'll play next week.
That's good news. And also, just lastly, Nat Fyfe, big talking point, hasn't had the impact he would have liked against probably the Bombers in his first full game. He's played at the sub a fair bit and had a bit of an impact late in fourth quarters. But where is he at right now with his role in the team? What do you see him adding to this side as you push into the back end of the season and hopefully a finals run?
Oh, he can give us a big body. He adds flexibility because he's able to play forward and in the midfield and his size. He's able to help some of our smaller mids in there. I understand there was a little bit of criticism about his game last week. We tried to play him in a different role, given we were missing so many small forwards and Switter was out of the team, and a bit of that's on me. And the previous 2 weeks when he was sub, I thought he was instrumental in us getting over the line in the last quarter. So 2 of the 3 weeks he's executed his role really well. Last week was a bit of a blip, but he's coming back from long-term injury, so we expect a little bit of rust at times, and he'll be out there and play his role tomorrow.
Nat Fyfe's role, by the way, is as a sub. He's one of the 2 subs named for the Dockers, and alongside him for St Kilda, Jack Carroll, originally from Geraldton through East Freo. Jack Carroll, the sub for St Kilda. Important game, not just for what it means for premiership points, but also for Fremantle. It is their 23rd annual Starlight Purple Haze game. Raised a huge amount of money for the wonderful Starlight Children's Foundation. More than $3.4 million has been raised by the Dockers throughout these games. Last year, the support from the Purple Army raised over $470,000. Tremendous work. And again, some of the great corporate sponsors of the Dockers are going to match all the pledges put forward for today's game. If you want to get involved, it's simple to do. Just you put Starlight Purple Haze Game in your search engine or go to the Fremantle Dockers website. You'll be able to find a way that you can contribute to what is a terrific charity, the Starlight Children's Foundation, helping brighten the lives of countless children who face serious illness, providing them with moments of happiness and much-needed support during challenging times. Plenty of them been involved today as well. We'll be keen to see Nicholas, 9 years of age. He'll be tossing the coin here on game day very shortly. We had Mateo running out with the team, 6 years of age, Mateo, and even St Kilda, well done to the Saints, getting involved as well. A 6-year-old Starlight kid, Demi, running out as the Saints junior mascot today. So a lovely touch, and well done to Fremantle. I know Bailey Banfield is heavily involved, and so too Caleb Sarong. And the Dockers for today actually wearing a Starlight Foundation jumper. It's a very special jumper. It's got the middle chevron of the 3 wide chevrons is transformed into the Starlight Stars. The Saints, who are out and warming up to the left of our broadcast position in their traditional away kit. It's the one with the white front, the big black cross, the red shoulders, red back, and the white shorts with the red socks. So it is an important game with what it means for both of these teams as Fremantle look to push back up the 8 again, starting the week in 6. They've dropped down to 8. They're looking for their 10th win of the season, and what would be a 6th straight win would equal the longest winning streak they've had under their coach in Justin Longmuir if they can win today against the Saints, a team with their old boss Ross Lyon in charge that they've had all sorts of issues beating over the last couple of years. Indeed, as I mentioned before, Ross Lyon's record against Fremantle, coached 12 times, has won 10 and lost just the 2 games. Of course, most recently in round 8 when St Kilda were far too good, winning by 61 points. They come into this game after a 41-point win over Essendon. St Kilda, though, losing to Collingwood. They've lost their past 2, the Saints, and they've lost 5 of their past 6. The bounce around about 4 minutes away. We'll keep an eye on the toss downstairs and head and hear from Bridget Lacey, who's joined us on the boundary very shortly. But let's get the final thoughts of our experts about how this pans out today. The Dockers and the Saints at Perth Stadium. Shane Woden, Cara Antonio, final thoughts before we get stuck into this one in the West.
Well, we've spoken about it already. It'll be won and lost in the contest, I think, Wowie, and that starts in the middle of the ground. We'll keep an eye on those run with rolls. But for me, I just want to flag one. Wanganeen Miller has been outstanding this season off halfback. And if I'm the Fremantle Dockers coaches, I'm probably looking to maybe send a defensive forward to him to nullify his, I suppose, impact off halfback, because a lot of their drive and penetration comes from the halfback for St Kilda. So that'll be one that I'm really interested to watch unfold.
Yeah, the duo down there with Sinclair as well. Totally agree with you. I reckon they've got to put some time into him. His influence with ball in hand. He's arguably the best kick in the competition for a fourth-year player, which is extraordinary. A lot of speculation on his career and what he's doing going forward too. So certainly a big one to play out, no doubt. You know, they were very good against Melbourne 3 weeks ago up in Alice. St Kilda, very good early in the contest against a really good contest team, and haven't been able to match that form since in the last couple of weeks. So, you know, it's a good opportunity on the road to take it to Freo, who's in good nick at the moment, 5 on the trot, and looking for that 6, as Clint says. So, need to get off early and play some really good footy early and get some territory going, get some ascendancy around the ball, and give their forwards a chance.
Toss of the coin about to happen in the middle. Caleb Sarong, the captain for the day, actually walking across to shake hands with 9-year-old Nicholas, who will be tossing the coin. To join him, the Saints, of course, their captain in Jack Steele. Mitch Turner's got his eye on the centre circles. Mitch?
Just waiting for Nicholas to toss the coin. Exciting time for the youngster. Nice toss straight up in the air. Down it comes. It's been won by Caleb Sarong and the Fremantle Dockers. They will kick to the Farmer Freeway end of the ground, which is the left. If you've got the TV sound down and the radio up, the left of your screen, the Saints, the city end, the right of your screen and your dial.
Good to see him rugged up as well. Nicholas did a great job with the beanie on and all the Fremantle colours. Let's head downstairs. Bridget Lacey, the other member of our broadcast team. Welcome, Bridge.
Thanks, Clint. Like Nicholas, I'm rugged up too. It's about 19 degrees down here, overcast skies, and we're hoping that the rain will stay away for this one. It has, for now, a little bit blustery. If anything, it looks to be favouring the city end, and Saints are going to this first quarter. And Ross Lyon did say he walks back in comfortably. As I could tell you, as he headed up to the coach's box, he looked very comfortable, smiling, saying hello to a few people he knew on the way through. So good reception for Ross so far. The starting bench is tonight. Sean Darcy returning to the team. He will start on the bench. So Luke Jackson's starting the ruck for Fremantle. Erasmus Wagner and Banfield also starting on the bench for the Dockers. And as you said, Clint, Nat Fyfe the sub. And for the Saints, Travaglia, Clark, Keeler, Henry and Jack Carroll is the sub.
Andy Brayshaw had just 18 touches. Caleb Sarong 15. The last time these sides met. The Saints did a tremendous job in stopping the sort of influence that they have at the contest. Will they be able to do so again today? Will the Dockers be able to hit back and take some measure of revenge from that disappointing loss in round 8? Can they win a 6 straight? Will the Saints be able to get the points in the West? Let's find out on ABC Sport. Mitch Turner to get us underway.
It's Marshall and Jackson at the first bounce. No Windhager in there yet. Ball goes up. Jackson taps it down. Garcia couldn't take it for the Saints. Marshall soccers it towards half forward. Clark got his fist to it for the Dockers. Knocked it into space. McRae, though, gathers. Handball off to a whole little chip inside the forward 50. And Jack Higgins, all on his own, takes the mark and will have a set shot. 35 metres out. 45-degree angle to the right. And give the Saints the opportunity for the perfect start.
Certainly perfect. 10 seconds. Shot on goal. Well done by McRae to get that ball out. And great vision inside 50.
Jack Higgins, it can be a barometer for this St Kilda side. The set shot not his best. It's away to the left and it sneaks in for a minus score. That opens proceedings though. Behind to St Kilda. That is all that's been scored so far. The Dockers yet to score. 1 minute played. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Here comes Clark. Right shoulder heavily strapped. Goes on a bit of a run and then kicks long and high towards left half back. Oh, fly. Quite able to take it to Rue. Spills down for the Dockers. Frederick to Brayshaw. Hand pass to Bolton. Surrounded by Saints. Great hand pass over the shoulder. No look. Found Frederick. Immediately kicks inside forward 50. Tracy marks. What about the skill from Shea Bolton in the middle of the park? Knew that Frederick was there. Wasn't even looking. Found the hand pass over the left shoulder, and we end up with Tracy having a shot on goal. 45-degree angle to the right. Will kick from 40 out.
He's a star, isn't he? Just so much footy IQ. Frederick had dragged his direct opponent up to the contest and just snuck out the back. Great kick inside forward 50, a nice bit of bodywork from Tracy.
Tracy against Wilkie, what a battle that will be. Tracy looking to land the first blow. He does. The Dockers with the opening major, and they hit the scoreboard in the first 2 minutes of the opening term. Fremantle 1 straight 6, St Kilda 1 behind. This is Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner, our experts, Shane Woden and Cara Antonio.
Just the ability to get the ball from inside to out. Really impressive. So it's the pickup also too. It's just as impressive as the actual handball itself. Been really clean. And this guy's progression as a footballer is amazing. Josh Tracy, leadership, his craft.
It's against Callum Wilkie.
Yeah, he's like
All-Australian
defender. Just timing, separation. And good finish.
2 rucks back in the middle. The Dockers with the first goal. Marshall takes it out of the ruck against Jackson. Snaps it inside the forward 50. Tumbling ball. Sharman out to get there first. He's spinning around in circles. Eventually got the handball over the top to Hall. He's 40 metres out. Grubbers a kick to the top of the square. It goes through a couple of Dockers. Owens takes it. Snaps it on the left. Trying to bend it around. He couldn't bend it enough. It's a minor score. 2 behinds for St Kilda. Fremantle 1 straight 6. 3 minutes into the first term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport here at Perth Stadium.
Well, had every right to have a shot on goal then. Don't need to be selfless in that area.
Here's Luke Ryan as the kicking duties for the Dockers. Goes long towards left half back again. Jackson, front position. He's been given the free kick. Had the arms chopped, trying to take the mark. Lays it off by hand to Brayshaw. He'll kick short to Murphy Reid. Of course, signed an extended contract with the Dockers this week. Locked in the purple until 2029. He'll go inboard to Chapman, standing just shy of the logo, commentary wing. Dockers by 4 points, opening 3 and a bit minutes. Chapman stabs it. Oh, missed the target in Brayshaw. Garcia's there. Gathers, gets it to Steele. Good hand pass to Wood. The Saints are away. Kicking into the right forward pocket. Cox is up against Butler. Ball goes past them. Butler gathers hard up against the boundary. Cox bumps him. He gets a kick away. Just dribbled along the line. Got it to Ryan. Ryan worked it onto Clark, and under pressure, it's seen across the boundary line. Higgins was right there for the Saints. It'll be a throw-in. Right forward pocket for St Kilda. Good effort. Right on the line. Just as Butler was trying to get a kick away from Cox. Made sure he couldn't get the kick, the purchase that he was hoping for, the Saint. Throw him back in. Comes down off hands. Bolton involved. Short to Sarong. It's been wrapped up. Ball up. Still again in the right forward pocket for St Kilda. 4 minutes and a bit gone in the opening term. Dockers lead 1 straight 6 to the Saints 2 behinds.
Ball tossed up in the air. Tapped towards the boundary line. Hall and Bolton go at it. Neither take clean possession, out of bounds in the same position. Right forward pocket for St Kilda. Keeping an eye on those matchups here in the box. Shane Woden, Cara Antonio. A lot of talk about it coming into the week. Where would the St Kilda defenders go? Ball tossed back in. Jackson to the front. Couldn't get clean possession. Stolen by Owens. Handball across to Hall, whose snap-on goal was tumbling away to the left again. Finding a bit of the ball is Max Hall so far. 3 behinds. The Dockers 1 straight 6.
Update for you from the game at the MCG. 3-quarter time there. The Crows 12-13-85 to the Tigers 5-2-32. Crows doing it easily at the moment. Ryan again with the kick in. Long towards left half back. Jackson got a hand on it. O'Driscoll's over the top. Tackled immediately. Wrapped up. That'll be a baller.
No defensive forward for Fremantle. That's probably first thought. They'll let Sinclair and Langan and Miller do their thing.
Steele alongside Andy Brayshaw. Jackson got it down. That's McRae, though, to Sinclair. Kicks to the Saints inside forward 50. Ryan flew. Couldn't mark. Higgins onto it quickly. Back to Butler. His kick was smothered. Ricocheted out towards Oscar McDonald. Hand pass almost intercepted again by Garcia. Frederick coming the other way for the Dockers. Gave it to Johnson. Releases a hand pass to McDonald. That's nicely done. The kick isn't, though. Wilkie coming forward. Marks for the Saints. Just forward of the southern wing.
Another turnover for the Dockers, trying to move the ball up the field. Wilkie short to Sinclair, rolls and goes immediately, kicks to the top of the goal square, flying from behind. Sharman couldn't mark. Windhager coming through, he's tackled by Sarong.
Started forward, Windhager, maybe playing on a wing currently.
All tossed up, 40 metres out from St Kilda's attacking goal. Ball went through Steele's legs off the restart. Erasmus is in there, he's tackled by a couple of Saints, and ball's going nowhere. We'll ball it up again. Still 40 metres out. Directly in front almost of St Kilda's goal. They haven't found a major yet. Just the three behinds. Marshall v Jackson. Both got a hand to it. McRae at ground level tapped it into space. Free kick spotted. And it's going to Caleb Sarong for a hold. So free kick, Fremantle. Sarong has it just inside defensive 50.
Saints have had 5 inside 50s to 1, but the Dockers have kicked the only goal of the game so far. 7 minutes gone, they lead by 3 points. Sarong kicks towards the commentary wing, going up to Rue, gets a big fist on it, the flying Viking, and sees it over the boundary line for a throw-in on centre wing. Right beneath our broadcast position in front of the Saints interchange gates. Boundary umpire unfurls. Darcy on the ground, won it down against Marshall. Umpire says we'll ball that up. Not getting out of there. It was Jackson who was working as the rover, was tackled immediately by Steele. 2 number 9s stand next to each other. Darcy palmed it down to Jackson again. He couldn't claim it. Darcy could. He was tackled, lost it. Garcia puts his body over it. Windhager tries to knock it out. Still there wrestling away. A bit like watching the Lions against the Western Force here last night. Almost a rolling maul here on the northern wing. Eventually the umpire says we'll put it up again. Darcy palmed it down, then looked to slap it forward. Stolen away here though. Ball got tackled. Well done, Sarong. He had Pryor wrapped up, and the ball wasn't returned to him immediately, and Sarong and the crowd were potentially looking for a 50. Not to be. Sarong's got it on centre wing. The Dockers by 3 points, 8.5 gone in the first.
Sarong plays on, kicks inside the forward 50, looking for Jackson. Sarong over the top, got a nice fist in. Stocker though, his handball missed the target. Spills to Bolton, outside of the boot, curling towards home. Did it get there? No. Play on, it's kept in on the goal line by Wilson for St Kilda. And they're able to work it out. The southern side, good mark taken on the outside by Mason Wood. And they're just going to hold the ball up. The umpire is going to stop play for a moment. They're going to check if Shea Bolton's check side banana went over the goal line, whether it hit the post, whether it was a score at all as we see the replay. That's not a good angle so far.
Would have been some goal.
It may have hit the post. It looks like it did. So it's come off the hand of Wilson into the post. It'll be a minus score. So scrape off that last 4 or 5 seconds, and we'll reset from the goal line where it will be 1-1-7 for Fremantle Dockers. St Kilda just 3 behinds. Here's the confirmation. There it is. 9.5 minutes into the first term. Fremantle lead by 4 points behind to Shea Bolton as the Saints bring it back in.
Sinclair to Wilkie. Kicks the Saints towards the southern wing. Fly came from Wood. Couldn't take the mark. Wilson looks to knock it on. Still going for St Kilda. Johnson right with him. The ball's over the boundary line for a throw-in between centre wing and left half forward for the Saints. Dockers with the opening goal coming from an impressive kick of Josh Tracy. Was held goalless last time he was up against Callum Wilkie. Not today. Throwing Darcy. Palmed it down. Out after it. Clark for the Saints. Tackled by Sarong. We've got a hand pass away to Hall. Hands it off again. It's a kick towards Marshall. Doesn't quite get to him. Behind him, taken by Henry. Back to Marshall again. Into the left forward pocket to Owens. And now to Steele. Moves it across to Clark once more. Clark spears a pass inside forward 50. Beautifully played. And Keeler leading out and marks for the Saints. About 40 from goal. Slightly better than a 45-degree angle to the left.
Bullet. How good's that? Right at the pipe. It's like Garcia's sitting on Sarong at stoppage, but it doesn't look like a hard tag. It's Garcia will go and win his own footy, and certainly in transition as well. So I'm not sure if there's anything really rock solid just yet.
Isaac Keeler spinning the footy over in his hands as he comes in. 7-2 for the season. Kick looked all right off the boot. Goal umpire barely has to move. He's got St Kilda's first at the 12-minute mark of the opening term, and they take the lead, the Saints. They're up by 2. 1-3-9 to Freo's 1-1-7. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. Our experts, Shane Woden and Cara Antonia.
It was a quick but kind of patient build-up when ball was marked just outside forward 50, and you're right, just a bullet. Very, very hard to defend. Leading lane was left wide open. Nice connection piece. You're right, I haven't noticed anything kind of a hard tag per se, just 3 mids, battling 3 mids at this point in time, rolling around. So interesting to see how that unfolds as the game goes on.
Most of those key players are from both sides are having a break on the interchange at the moment. Ball in the middle, Keeler doing the ruck work against Darcy. Darcy just knocked him out of the way, took the ball at ground level, handball into the path of Wagner, who releases wide to the southern wing, and Banfield can gather and go short. Finds Johnson, who marks in space. Just forward of the wing on that southern side, goes short to Wagner. Patient build-up from the Dockers here. St Kilda numbers back, as they so often do. Wagner eventually called to move it on. Kicks into the pocket. Jackson the target. Jackson the marker. Flew in front. Did Luke Jackson. Strong set of hands. Had Tracy for support. He'll have a set shot from about 45 metres out. Very tight angle to the right, but nothing would just surprise you with this man.
It looks like he hasn't come off yet. So he's done a stint in the ruck, stint on ball, and then has pushed forward. So we're looking at a man that may play 100% game time today. Let's watch that one as the game goes on.
Luke Jackson has ball in hand. Tight angle in the right forward pocket. Jackson's set shot is across the face. Flying is the Flying Viking of Alex Taru, who punches it through for a minus score. 1-2-8 Fremantle now. St Kilda 1-3-9. 13.5 played in this first term Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Crows by 53 points. 3 minutes into the final term at the MCG over the Tigers. Sinclair with the kicking duties. Goes long, looking for Wilkie at left half back. Reid was good enough to get in the way. Spilled down to Clark. Spears it into Bolton, who marks on his chest. Right at the junction of the 50-metre arc and the boundary at right half forward.
He's having a shot.
And you wouldn't bet against him. Involved in their opening goal. Can he put his own name on the goal kickers list? Not with that. It's missed everything to the near side. Very unlike Shea Bolton. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Saints. It'll be taken by Clark at left full back. He'll go to Caminiti, kicking across the face of goal, and he'll move it on into the right back pocket to Travalia.
Just has to avoid the boundary umpire there. Travalia, who goes back to the top of the goal square, finds Caminiti again.
Worked hard here, Fremantle, very good. Closed him off defensively.
Forces Caminiti short to Travalia, who has run across to the left back pocket now. Frederick stands the mark. Travalia goes for a run. High kick to the southern wing. Flying from behind Wood. Just decided to go the fist. Ground level Murphy Reid. His handball found Banfield. Able to run onto his left foot. Kick it back inside the forward 50 in front. Tracy can't mark. Fall of the ball. Who's there? Stocker and Dudley crashed into each other. Dudley ends up on top of it. And the umpire comes in to ball it up about 45 metres out. Right half forward for the Fremantle Dockers. Trailing St Kilda by 1 point in this first term.
And a good contest early doors. Throwing up the Dockers' right forward pocket. Tracy took it himself. Hand passed over the top, but can only find a Saint, who was immediately tackled by Reid. It's Sinclair who climbs up off the deck. Ball up again. A little bit closer to goal, probably 35 out from Freo's attacking goal. Farmer Freeway end. Darcy palmed it down, but straight to Stocker. Harassed by Erasmus, he got the kick away. Keeler's kick beyond defensive 50. Clark's now there for the Dockers. To Chapman. Will put it back inside the attacking 50. Big fly again to Roo. Gee whiz, he's going to take a huge mark. Not with that, though. It spills down. Windhager's there to gather. Kicks towards a vacant wing. Commentary side. Getting there first, Ryan. Falling over was Butler. Ryan has time to go back to Banfield, who go all the way back to centre half back to Oscar McDonald, who marks for the Dockers.
One of the three inclusions for the Dockers, Oscar McDonald. He's laterally across half back to Clark, who now wants to bite off a kick into the middle. It's a good one. Banfield has space, able to mark and play on. Comes back to the commentary side. O'Driscoll wants to move it quickly. Plays on, kicks towards Bolton in the forward 50. Can't get there. Coming through Sinclair for St Kilda. Handball. Misses the target though. Off the deck goes Wilson. Too short. Mark not paid to O'Driscoll, who was forced to play on. Off hands, out of bounds. There's a boot.
Butler
On the wing. Dan Butler lost.
He needs someone to deliver it to the Butler.
Jack Higgins is going to pick it up and launch it horribly along the turf. Didn't do a great job at all. Butler's got to go pick it up. Ball will be spun back in left half forward to the Dockers. Darcy tapped it straight down to Clark. Through hands to Taru. Then to Owens. Kick up the wing. Falls on the chest of Sharman, who has it right in front of the interchange gates.
Butler hasn't been able to put the boot on. He's actually tucked it into the back of his shorts as Sharman moves it forward. Now he's going to go down and just loosen the shoelaces as McRae marks, hands it off to Wanganeen Miller, kicks the Saints towards right half forward. Marshall's there, hand pass was missed. A little juggle from Wanganeen Miller, and that allowed Clark to bundle him and the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in at right half forward. They lead by a point. 18 gone in the opening term, the Saints. Throw in about 60 from their attacking goal at the City end. Put back into play. Darcy against Marshall. Marshall got the fingertips to it. Trying to get there, Brayshaw couldn't. McRae hand passes the Saints backwards towards the commentary wing. Wanganeen Miller picks it up, and he is forced by Brayshaw over the boundary line for a throw-in. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary.
Just the one touch so far for Sire Wanganeen Miller. He's out this contest as the ball is tossed back in. Darcy and Marshall grapple. Darcy went the double fist. Came down to Clark, though, to Henry. Now the Saints are away. Garcia. Nice bit of foot candy to Chapman. Manages to find Higgins outside 50. Handball off to Hall. Has Butler running back to goal. Kick was perfect. Couldn't take the mark. Butler on ground levels trying to keep it alive. And it's ricocheted out of bounds. The Fremantle defenders came running in. Banfield gets the applause from the crowd and his teammates. They managed to knock it out of bounds. The ball will be tossed back in right next to the right behind post. City end of the ground, St Kilda forward line.
Couldn't be any more perfect, that kick. In the breadbasket and dropped it.
Darcy won it down. Straight to Brayshaw. Tackled immediately, a ball up. Great effort though from Banfield. Did not give up on it. Kept harassing his opponent. Throwing up again. Fingertips from Marshall down to O'Driscoll's kick was smothered, came straight to Windhager, kicked towards the teeth of goal, reaching for it. Higgins went just out of his grasp, and then Oscar McDonald happy enough to take it across the behind line. One more to the Saints score. 1-4-10, the Dockers 1-2-8, 20 minutes gone in the opening term.
Short kick into the left pocket to Jordan Clark for the Dockers. Sean Darcy is monstering the hit-outs, by the way. He's had 10 already. Just one to Rowan Marshall. Kick up to the wing. Again, Taru flies. Off hands to McRae, though, for the Saints. Ends up with Wanganeen Miller. Good vision inside. Finds Henry in the centre square. The former Docker cops some boos. Back into the side today after a long time out. Didn't last long in his only game before going down with injury. Goes short to Wanganeen Miller. A kick is not his best by any means. Straight to Brayshaw in the defensive 50, and the Dockers can go quick. Handball to Banfield, up the wing to the birthday boy, 22 years old today. Patrick Voss, off he prances, kicks towards half forward. Tracy one-on-one with Wilkie. Wilkie did well, affected the spoil. Handball inside then to Henry. Now Garcia, he's under pressure, releasing handball to Windhager, who has it on the broadcast wing.
He wanted someone to come towards him, kicks long towards right half forward. This is a ruckman battle. Front position was Marshall. couldn't mark. Banfield goes to try to gather the crumbs. He's tackled strongly to ground. Umpire says it's a push in the back. Marshall unhappy, but it was against Hall, and Banfield will have the free kick left half back for the Dockers.
Late call.
Could take a while. Umpire almost weighed it up and thought, yeah, it's probably there. And it probably was. Banfield goes on a bit of a run. Kicks towards left half forward. Big pack flies. Tracy got a hand to it. Spills down to Reed for the Dockers. Runs towards left half forward. Gave it off to Jackson. Not sure what that kick was meant to be. A little grubber along the ground for Dudley. Can't pick it up first time. Tackled. Taken by Travalia over the boundary line. About 10 metres to the left of the left-hand behind post for a throw-in. Wouldn't have minded Jackson just having a ping.
Yep.
Had every right to.
Did from about 40 out, left forward pocket, ball spun back in. Jackson gets to the front position, spills out to Garcia though, got it to Travalia. Kicks around the body for the Saints, long and high towards right half back, leaping up in the air. Lovely mark for Clark for the Dockers, left half forward. He'll bring it back into the middle of the ground.
So retreats a bit of territory, but now McDonald has it for the Dockers. He stands 5 metres attacking side of the centre square, goes laterally to Cox, comes back to the broadcast wing to Ryan. Every St Kilda player is in front of the Dockers right now. Ryan chips it laterally to Erasmus. 65 from the attacking goal. Just decides to go. Loads up. Top of the goal square. Coming across again is Alex Taru. Another spoil. Punches it out of bounds in the left forward pocket for the Dockers.
Keeps it simple, doesn't he? Spoils everything.
He can fly though.
He can fly.
Lead. Clint said it before. He is going to take a mark that takes that breath away at some stage. He's the kid they call the Flying Viking for a reason. Ball tossed back in. Jackson taps it down. McRae stole it on his right boot though. Clearing kick could only find the chest of Jordan Clark, who marks at 48 out, and immediately his teammates say, settle it down. Time for a set shot, Jordan.
Yeah, backs press real high here. Fremantle. Squeeze right in. Create that density. Force that dump kick.
Disposal number 8 coming up for Jordan Clark. It'll be the most on the ground. Clark will have to kick from outside 50. Not his best kick. Kicked it like a defender. Goes up in the air. Taru flies again. Gets a bit of a fist on it. O'Driscoll in the pocket. Takes it out of the air. Snaps towards the top of the goals. Couple of Saints fumble. Last line of defence. Wood to Caminiti. Then to Jack Steele, who just walks it over the boundary line. There was some pressure. Umpire says that's okay. Toss it back in. Left forward pocket, 5 metres around from the goal face, 23 and a half gone.
Saints still lead by 2. Side Freo's forward 50, it's thrown back in. Jackson missed it. Marshall gathers. His kick is going to go out of bounds on the fall. Free kick for the Dockers. Down where Bridget Lacey's lurking on the boundary. Chapman standing in front of her. He's at left half forward for Freo. Trots inboard. Puts it back from whence it came towards the teeth of goal. Big pack up, no one marks. Windhager's kick straight to Tracy. Couldn't believe it. Tracy snaps and kicks his second. From only about 25 metres out. Wasn't the best defensive effort from the Saints, and the Dockers made them pay. They hit the lead again late in the opening term. Freo 2-2-14. St Kilda 1-4-10. 25 gone in the first. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. Our experts Shane Woden and Cara Antonio.
Just building enough pressure. Fremantle the last 3 or 4 minutes, didn't they, Cara? Eventually the damn wall breaks. Just enough pressure on the ball just to force that dump kick. Didn't quite flush it. Right place, right time. The Dara fair early in this first. Probably as expected, I reckon, too.
I mean, that's the flood that St Kilda do. They
just
couldn't get it out there, could they?
No.
They had nothing outside defensive 50. Big guns back in the middle. Sarong's out there for the Dockers. Stands next to Jackson McRae. Luke Jackson is on the ball. Darcy's in the ruck. It's tapped out, though, in the way of Garcia for St Kilda. To Wood, who feigned the handball and decided to go out laterally to the southern wing. Sinclair takes it on the bounce. Has to kick on the left foot under pressure. It's tight to the line. Flying from the side was Henry. It bounced off Banfield in the end. He almost took the mark. It's out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Just between wing and half forward. City end of the ground. St Kilda's attacking end. They trail by 4 points. Ball spun back in. Darcy got a fist to it, down to Erasmus. Nice handball to Johnson, who under pressure got it to Banfield. Darcy now the handball recipient, tackled to ground, just dropped it. Hall got him, and the umpire, rightfully so, paid holding the ball. Incorrect disposal, whichever you'd like to go with. Hall for St Kilda goes quickly, kicks into the pocket, taking almost the mark in front was Woody. Was spoiled by his own man in Owens, who was coming in from behind. Wood did everything right, got the separation. Before he took the mark, was crashed into by Owens. There'll be a ball up instead.
Not happy with him either.
I reckon that was one down by Marshall that time. Went straight, though, to McDonald. Got it onto Sarong. Kicked around the body from deep in the left back pocket. Punch back inside forward 50 for the Saints. Steele handed it off. Ooh, Bolton, strong tackle into Owen. He was allowed to play on here. It wasn't in the back, and now the umpire's called a free kick that will go the way of the Saints. And Oscar McDonald needs to be careful not to give away 50. He didn't return the ball immediately to Mason Wood, who was the player who was infringed.
It's got a journey here too, I would have thought. Reckon that's a free kick as well against
the Bolton.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely it was. Tackle into the back to Owens. I was surprised they let it play. Mason Wood's kick into the right forward pocket. He wanted Marshall. Instead, Sarong marked. He gets it beyond offensive 50. Johnson flies. Spoil came from the side from Caminiti. Now the ball is Steele for the Saints. Back to Clark, right half forward. Kick goes short to Marshall. He decides to go long towards goal. It's hit the right-hand goal post. Would have been a good goal if he'd been able to convert. He knows it too. Look of frustration as he runs away. Dockers move it quickly. Back inside the left back pocket to Ryan, who marks 2-2-14. Plays 1-5-11. Frau over the Saints. 28 gone in the first.
Ryan short to Banfield. Surprised Wood just didn't have a shot there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He would have kicked from about 51, 52. He's got the journey. Didn't work out in the end. Banfield's called to play on. He runs out of defensive 50, takes a bounce, kicks up to the wing. Big pack in front. Marshall. Strong grab. It's a strong man. St Kilda ruckman. Thought about going backwards with the kick. Was called to play on. Instead, went laterally to the broadcast wing logo. Caminiti marks. Handball to Sinclair. Back by foot to centre half back, where Wilkie can gather and complete the switch out the southern side to Travalia. Has some pace, the young man. Decided to play on. Ran onto his non-preferred. The kick was a shocker. Straight along the ground to Erasmus. The Dockers have turned it over. O'Driscoll set upon, though, by a couple of Saints. Windhager, one of them. And in the end, it'll be a ball up on the southern side. It has not been a pretty game. It's not that surprising between these two sides. Ball tossed up. Marshall was being held by Darcy. Free kick spotted. No. It's going the way of Darcy, who I thought was behind in that contest.
I think Marshall thinks the same thing.
It's a free kick to Sean Darcy. Kicks towards right half forward. Tracy taps it down in front. Sarong just crashed into Stocker. They both go to ground. Great contest, ball up. I'm certain Marshall was in front and somehow was holding the player behind.
There we go, replay. Yeah, locked his arm in.
Yeah, good call.
On the restart, Darcy won it down again. Went to Erasmus, who was tackled. The hit-outs, as Mitch said before, are lopsided 20-3 in favour of Fremantle.
Yeah, St Kilda +7 in clearance. And kick 1 goal 4 from stoppage.
Another holding decision. This will go Marshall's way against Darcy.
It's not always about the hit-outs. It's what you do at ground level, which is really important as a midfield group.
And here comes Marshall, who takes the free kick. Goes down the southern wing. Brennan Cox has read that well. Leapt up in the air, took the mark. He's knocked out of his grasp. Wangani Miller, the umpire says, no, go back and take your kick from where you have it, between right half back and centre wing. Southern side of Perth Stadium. Cox for the Dockers, kicks towards right half forward. Darcy attacks the football, got away from his opponent. Looks to move it on quickly. Lots of options inside forward 50. Voss flew behind him. Amos couldn't mark. Voss tries to wrench it away. Goes to ground. That's the siren for quarter time. And it's the Dockers in an arm wrestle who lead by 3 points over the Saints. 2-2-14 to St Kilda's 1-5-11. The goal kickers for the Dockers. Josh Tracy has both of theirs. For the Saints, it's off the boot of Isaac Keeler. Fremantle by 3 points at quarter time. A quick score check for you from the other game at the MCG. We're into time on in the final term there, and the Crows lead the Tigers by 63 points, 16-13, 109 to Richmond's 7-4-46. Just repeating, that is at or in the final term. A little bit of afters too. The Rucks had a bit to say. Darcy and Marshall, as both teams headed to their respective huddles. We'll see if there's anything more on that if we can catch a replay. So, let's go. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, on ABC News Radio, on Sport Digital, and of course on the ABC Listen app, this is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Hi, I'm Andy Lee, and that's Wiz. It's not, and we'd love you to check out the new ABC Family Show from my book series. Do not watch this show!
Make sure you're not watching Friday, July 4 on ABC iView.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Bolton surrounded by Saints. Great hand pass over the shoulder. No look down. Frederick immediately kicks inside forward 50. Tracy marks. What about the skill from Shea Bolton in the middle of the park? Knew that Frederick was there, wasn't even looking. Found the hand pass over the left shoulder, and we end up with Tracy having a shot on goal. Tracy against Wilkie, what a battle that will be. Tracy looking to land the first blow. He does. Now to Steele, moves it across to Clark once more. Clark spears a pass inside forward 50, beautifully played, and Keeler leading out and marks the Saints. About 40 from goal, slightly better than a 45-degree angle to the left. Isaac Keeler spinning the footy over in his hands, comes in 7-2 for the season. Kick looked all right off the boot. Goal umpire barely has the move. Pack up, no one marks. Windhager's kick straight to Tracy, couldn't believe it. Tracy snaps and kicks his second.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital,
and on the ABC Listen app.
It's the Dockers who lead the Saints by 3 points at quarter time. Let's get the thoughts of our experts here at Perth Stadium this afternoon. Brownlow medalist Shane Woden, All-Australian Cara Antonia.
Arm wrestle early, Cara, as we probably expected. I would have thought. I didn't think we were going to get a shootout and high ball speed early. There's probably one transition move that we got through, and we saw Shea's handball to Freddie and then out the back. So that's about the only piece of play where it's really got through. Other than that, it's probably been long down the line. St Kilda aren't allowing Fremantle to shift it. So both teams are probably going long down the line. Poor contest, ground ball, try to get it out the back at the moment. And St Kilda statistically winning all the metrics in terms of contest, ground ball clearance. And they kicked 1-5 from stoppage, which is the whole score really. So dominating clearance without the hit-out advantage. Still in the game, just haven't put the scoreboard pressure back on Fremantle. So arm wrestle first quarter.
You're right, just not getting bang for buck, are they, the Saints? And a bit of a scrappy game, no real, I suppose, clear, exciting passages that we've seen, as you mentioned. And Freo's goals have come from turnover, and as you said, the Saints all come from stoppage. So two different kind of styles of, I suppose, sources to goal. Pressure's been good from both sides, and you can tell perceived pressure's starting to build as well from the likes of, Wanganeen Miller has only had a couple of touches, but it's always under pressure. Sinclair the same off half-back, and inside, Saints are dominating clearance and first possession ground ball, but clearly not making the most of their opportunities going inside forward 50. Both methods inside, going inside hasn't been clean. A lot of long bombs to contest, and they're just hoping for a bit of a scrap. So really interested to see how that transpires as the game goes on. Would love to see if you hit up leads and be a little bit more patient with ball in hand outside, in that launch pad zone. So looking forward to seeing what this second quarter has in store for us. Hopefully a little bit more of an exciting brand of footy.
Yeah, I don't see Ross changing a lot early. A lot of numbers around stoppage. I noticed Fremantle playing high at stoppage today, like all six forwards. Two generally up and in, but even their furthest forwards from the contest are really high too, even between mid-arc. So that'd be 40 from the ball, not generally your 60 to 70. Just creating that pressure. And whether or not Ross would change anything, particularly when Freo send the ball forward. Well, because when when St Kilda exit in their back half, they've got nothing to kick to because they're all pushed in too low. So interesting, does he stretch the ground a little bit and try and put a little bit more pressure on?
Well, Peter Bell pointed that out last time, that St Kilda dragged the Dockers up to the stoppage and it just played into the St Kilda's hands. It just condensed the ground a lot, and that's what the Saints wanted. So we might be seeing a bit of that again. Fremantle are pushing up, and as you said, they might want the width.
Yeah, but they also might want to not allow St Kilda's backs to drop off and support early third man in. So get them up high, force them in one-on-one. So when it does come out the front through with Fremantle, they are one-on-ones.
Some of the numbers quickly in that first quarter. Contested possession, the way of St Kilda by 6. The inside 50 count ended up 11 apiece. The hit-outs, 19-4 in the end, Fremantle's way. The clearances, 14-6 though, St Kilda's favour. They lead the tackle count 23-16 as well. Individually, Rowan Marshall up to 9 disposals with 4 clearances. Sinclair, McRae and Clark with 7. That's Hunter Clark. For the Dockers, it's Jordan Clark with 8. Bailey Banfield also with 8. And Luke Ryan with 7. Sarong just the 4. Brayshaw the 3. Wanganeen Miller the 3 as well. So the big stars haven't really touched it so far for either side.
Second term about to get underway. Dockers with a 3-point advantage. Jackson's in the ruck against Marshall. Comes down to Steele. Gets the kick away for the Saints up into the air. Almost getting infringed by Sarong was Clark, but he was able to take the mark for Fremantle on the defensive edge of the centre square. Jordan Clark now gets told to play on. He'll kick over the top of the logo's southern wing, and Wilkie's read that pretty well. He got there for the Saints to take a defensive mark. Moves it into Garcia, just inside the outer edge of the square. He'll trot back to stand on the defensive edge near the point of the square at right half back. Out to Wilkie again. Moves it on. This is Taru. Very promising youngster. Looks to play on. Will kick towards right half forward for the Saints. Big fly came from Owens in the middle of that. Got hands to it. Ricocheted away and over the boundary line for a throw in, about 60 out from the Saints attacking goal. They're heading to the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium in this turn, to the left of our broadcast position. Still the Dockers by 3 points. Thrown in. Jackson against Marshall. Jackson got hands to it. Down to Sarong. Shovels the hand pass forward. Reed gathers the bouncing footy. Quick hands to Brayshaw. On in turn to Tracy. Sweeping hand pass over the top to Darcy at left half forward. Comes back again to Brayshaw. Kicks inside forward 50. No mark taken. Amos was there. Sinclair against him. Dudley tries to track the ball to the boundary. It's over for a boundary throw in.
That's a win for Fremantle. Getting some yards from stoppage.
Darcy got very attacking side then, the big man. It's going back to the goal square here is Sean Darcy. Luke Jackson will take the ruck against Marshall. Ball spun back in. Marshall to the front. Both got hands to it. Windhager tackled. Locked up. We'll ball it up. Haven't seen that too often this year. Sean Darcy playing deep forward. All up in the air. Jackson taps it down. Brayshaw dispossessed. Garcia got a little toe poke to it. Straight to Clark though of the Dockers. Wagner receives it across to Bolton into the path of Amos. Dragged down. Did he get a free kick? No. Yes. No, yes. Oh, he did get a free kick. The umpire paid advantage of Sarong. He didn't want it. It comes to Murphy Reid. He goes to dribble. And it's knocked through on the line for a rush behind. 2-3-15 the Dockers, 1-5-11 St Kilda. I'm not sure anyone wanted that advantage.
I don't even think the players knew what was going on either.
Well, I didn't. Much like them. St Kilda have the ball.
And able to move to left half back. McRae hands it off to Wanganeen Miller. Takes a couple of bounces. Still going. Stepped inside. Bolt. Run down by Tracy. He got him and let him know all about it as well. So too did Frederick. And now it is on.
Got to be careful. You don't want to give the ball away here.
Don't reverse it. The free kick is yours, Tracy.
It's a great chase.
It was.
Great chase.
And now Marshall's got a bit to say in the chest of Tracy eventually. Tracy will get up, he'll get the free kick. But plenty of advice being offered. Listen to the crowd reaction. Tracy running down Wanganeen Miller, who would have thought for all money that he was away on the logo on the northern wing. Not to be. The kick comes to Ryan. He marks on centre wing. Kicks the Dockers into the right forward pocket. Big pack up. Amos got hands to it. Spilled down to Reid. Lost it. Here's Taru stealing it away to Wilson. He lost it. Stolen by Brayshaw. Flicked on cleverly by Darcy to Reid. Hard up against the boundary. Tries to run it towards goal. He misses narrowly to the right-hand side. Minor score. 2-4-16 the Dockers. 1-5-11 the Saints. 4 gone in the second.
I think everyone in Perth Stadium could see Josh Tracy stalking Josiah Wanganeen-Miller. He was the only one that didn't have the eyes in the back of the head. Murphy Reid looks likely as well for Fremantle. St Kilda move it out the southern side. Long kick to the wing in front. Jordan Clark couldn't take the mark. Sharman arrived late to provide pressure. Now he's over the top of it. Butler gets Jordan Clark high. Throws him to ground a little bit too and then pushes in, and he pushed his luck. Dan Butler, he got away with the first little throw to ground, and there might have been some milking in it from Jordan Clark, but he went for the second shove, the former Tiger in Dan Butler, and he's given Jordan Clark a 50-metre penalty, which will bring the man on the mark to about 35-40 metres out. Wasn't a lot in it, but the umpire had already given him the don't touch him. His last set shot was a shocker. This is a little closer, slightly easier maybe. Jordan Clark, what a year he's having. And what a kick that is. Jordan Clark pumps the fist. The Dockers have their third. 3-4-22 now the score for Fremantle. St Kilda 1-5-11. We've travelled 5 minutes in the second term here at Perth Stadium. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Former Dockers captain Cara Antonio, Brownlow medalist Shane Woden are our experts.
Not a lot in it, as we've mentioned, but got to play the worst. Yeah, a lot of stage.
He milked.
Stage, yeah.
He jumped
absolutely.
Yeah, I would say this though. Butler, the first time, has thrown him to the ground.
Yeah,
and the umpire said, righto, leave him alone, and then he shoved him over. Now, did Clark milk it? Absolutely, but don't push him the second time. That's dumb from Butler. The first one, you go, okay, you've taken him to ground. The second one, you're giving the umpire an excuse to ping you.
You are, but you don't.
There might be a fight. He did stage.
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
a bit of staging.
There might be a little bit of the skyrocket.
Well, I'm not sure it's not simulation. He's just made the most of the contact. Let's put it that way. Saints will bring it away. They get the restart. Wanganeen-Miller involved, and then to McRae, who kicks out towards Cooper Sharman. And he's marked the top of the 50 arc, and that's a lovely kick inside 50. The run had continued from Wanganeen-Miller, and he marks. Does not look back at the goals to see if there's any other option. He fancies his chances here from 45 out, in line with the left hand behind post.
Yeah, no one with him.
No, he worked hard.
Had the first one, didn't put bumpers on, and kept going.
So from an uncontested mark inside forward 50, looking for an immediate reply for the St Kilda Footy Club. Here he comes. Wanganeen-Miller up. Looked all right off the boot. The Saints flags. They fly behind the goals. The ball lands amongst them. St Kilda hit back straight away. Their second goal. The first for Wanganeen-Miller of the day. 2-5-17 the Saints. 3-4-22 the Dockers. 7 gone in the second. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden, Mitch Turner, and our experts Shane Woden and Cara Antonio.
I like to see Jordy Clark press there on McRae.
Folded back, didn't he?
He went back with his opponent. So on here, Jordy Clark's got to come forward right now to put frontal pressure on McRae. Didn't.
As you said, no one went with Wanganeen-Miller. He ran unchecked into the forward 50, and
Brayshaw should have put bumpers on him, but he decided to turn and chase, and then didn't follow him inside 50.
He's too good a player to let do that. And he got a little bit of payback after he was run down. Wanganeen-Miller with the goal in the middle. Bolden couldn't take it cleanly the first time. Now he's troubled off it by Henry. The Saints win it back. The handball fought into the path of Henry. Tackled by Brayshaw. Dispossessed. Flying through was Hall. He was tackled by Jordan Clark. We'll have a ball up the right attacking edge on the centre square for St Kilda. 1 goal apiece this term. Darcy v Marshall. Darcy in front, tapped it nicely down to Brayshaw, who released the handball to Warner. Had a bit of time and space off of half-back and kick it up to the wing. The kick never favoured Voss. The mark taken by Caminiti, who can Switch inboard to the centre of the southern wing. Stocker, who retreats all the way back inside defensive 50. Wilkie played on, didn't have a lot of options, and eventually was able to find the outlet kick to the broadcast side, and Darcy Wilson can mark and chip it short to Liam Henry, who continues to cop the booze, the former Dockers NGA product.
You move it inboard. Chance to set up again here. This is Stocker. And to switch play. Back to centre half back where Wilkie marks. Kicks beyond the wing. Once Travalia. Kick into the right forward pocket for St Kilda. There's a line of 6 and a strong grab. Darcy up against Marshall. Was able to bring it down. Good hands from Darcy back into the team this week for the Dockers. To Brayshaw. Oh dear, he's kicked out of bounds on the full. And St Kilda will be able to have a shot on goal from 40 metres out in the left forward pocket. Un-Brayshaw-like.
Wasn't the decision, it was just a skill error. It's good to see St Kilda try to go around Fremantle that time. Double switch.
Mason Wood will be taking the free kick. 16-12 for the season. He'll start from beyond the boundary. He's 45 metres out. Not a bad kick. It's going to just go across the face, and Darcy is content to rush it through for a minor score. 2-6-18 St Kilda. 3-4-22 the Dockers. 10 gone in this second term. By the way, full time at the MCG. The Crows have beaten the Tigers by 68 points. 18-14, 122 to Richmond 8-6-54.
Move up to third, Adelaide, back to third position.
Good scoring shots in at 32.
It's a lot of scoring shots. The Dockers are just chipping the ball around. Defensive 50, Ryan eventually had to move it up the field. Bolton provides the lead, marks defensive side of the centre square. Plays on. Travalia took the outside 5, didn't want to take the mark. Bolton goes wide out to the southern boundary line to Johnson, across inboard centre wing to McDonald. So once again, St Kilda with every player in front of Oscar McDonald. The southern side, he kicks up towards left half forward. Big pack there. No one can take the mark. Jackson at ground level. Handball to Johnson, who eventually gathered it. Handball to Darcy. Little low handball to Bolton. Then to Brayshaw. His kick smothered. Can Saints transition and go? Clark is tackled by Brayshaw. Umpire said he took a couple of steps and took him on. It'll be a free kick to Fremantle. Brayshaw has an attacking edge of the centre square, and again, the man on the mark stands just inside the centre square. Every St Kilda player is in front of Andrew Brayshaw. He plays on. It's a high kick to the top of the goal square, floating in front. Marshall's strong mark. With all those numbers, he's still found the space. Did Rowan Marshall. He can take possession, goes short to a teammate, and then wide to Hall, who marks, and now they're out a little bit, St Kilda. Windhager has some space. Took the handball received, took a little bounce, chips up the southern side. Mark taken over there by Jack Steele, it is. A little contact, nothing untoward. Steele kicks further afield to Windhager, who kept running. Marks it a kick and a half away from the goals. Decides to move it inboard. Middle of the 50, looking for a target. Darcy's there for the Dockers. Able to punch it down. Wood through traffic. His handball was knocked away. Went back in. Tapped it towards Liam Henry. The crowd won't like this. The Saints will. And Henry gives them the shush.
Shush.
Finger to the mouth. Liam Henry, the boos come. He doesn't care. He's got his first. Back into the side after a long layoff. Liam Henry gets his first goal of the season. And it's a sweet one for the Saints. It gives them back the lead. 3-6-24 St Kilda. Fremantle 3-4-22. 12 and a half played in the second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, it's good by St Kilda. Bit of back half transition, bit of speed a little bit. Got held up, but just put it to a dangerous spot, which was predictable. Win a ground ball, which was really important there from Mason Wood. He had options there to maybe handball and give it to better position. But yeah, good finish.
Just held outside shape, didn't he? Didn't get sucked into contests like a couple of Dockers did, and a bit early for the shush, I would have thought, but there it is.
Has put his team in front as Darcy wins the ruck contest, takes it himself, kicks inside forward 50. Taru went up and couldn't mark. Went after it a second time. Trevelyan knocks it back, getting it to Windhager. Kicks the Saints towards the southern wing. Henry again, worked out underneath it by Warner on that battle of the 23s. Hand pass to Erasmus. Tackled. Well done. Not wrapped up by Keeler. Ball spilled out. Henry involved once more. Now McRae gets a kick away, but only as far as Warner, who marks defensively at left half back for the Dockers. They'll move it on to Wagner. Wagner looks to go down the southern wing. He spots Brayshaw, who marks just inside the boundary line. Right on centre wing. Saints by 2. 14 gone in the second term. Brayshaw rolls around onto the right boot. Kicks towards left half forward. Frederick got hands to it. Couldn't mark. Voss went sliding through. Couldn't gather either. Frederick will get it a second time through Erasmus to Sarong to Voss. Hand pass off again to Frederick. Goes bursting down the left forward pocket. Back to Reid. Shoots at goal. Wonderful goal. Murphy Reid. That is a class finish. And showing why Fremantle was so delighted to get his signature until 2029 with the way he finished off that slick move down the outer side from the Dockers. He puts Freo back in front at the 15-minute mark of the second term. They're 4-4-28. The Saints are 3-6-24. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport.
Nothing pretty about that. No real movement ahead of the footy either. No one drawing out the St Kilda defenders. So just gut running there by Frederick. Almost ran too far and just a classy finish. Came almost off the side of his boot, but it went through. He's a talent, young Murphy Reid. Star of the future, that's for sure.
Took a bit of individual brilliance from a couple. Voss took on the tackler first and Frederick. And a great finish from Murphy Reid. It was not easy. Bounce in the middle's not a great one. We'll bring it back. They haven't been doing it easy, the Dockers. They haven't found an easy goal.
Very stagnant ahead of the ball, though. There's no movement.
They just seem a bit flat. St Kilda can do that to sides. Just bring you down to that level. Out of the middle they go. Garcia handballed it forward. Ran on and got his own ball. Handball over the top to Henry. He gathers in space and then spills it. Bumped off it by Jordan Clark. It allows Luke Ryan to get the releasing handball. Out to Erasmus. Takes a bounce. Kick up the southern side to Frederick. Can they move it quickly? The crowd wants him to go. St Kilda pretty good at shutting it down quickly. In the end, he goes relatively short to Wagner, who's paid the mark under pressure. They'll have it attacking side of the southern wing. Slow ball movement again. He thought about going laterally. Instead, plays on and kicks it into the pocket. Flying high was Amos. Ground level Murphy Reid breaks a tackle. Stands up in the second. Handball to Dudley. His kick is off the side of the boot, out of bounds on the full. St Kilda will regain possession. 16.5 into the second term. They trail the Dockers by 4 points, and they'll have the ball in their right back pocket with Hugo Garcia, who will kick out wide, looking for Windhager. Good mark, no. Juggled on the second attempt under pressure from Erasmus. He thought he had enough. Umpire disagreed. It's out of bounds for a boundary throwing. So Darcy v Keeler. Dockers should have the advantage in the air here. Ball spun back in. Darcy just shoves Keeler off it. Took it out of the ruck. Was dispossessed. Coming through Garcia. He was tackled. Keeler dives back in. Tackled by a couple of Dockers. We'll have a ball up. 60 metres out from the Dockers attacking goal. Darcy this time against Marshall. Darcy got a fist to it. Straight up in the air though. And Hunter Clark was able to gather, and he is tackled by Wagner. So no movement so far.
Both teams sending two up at the stoppage. Very crowded in there, isn't it?
The Dockers have kicked all 4 goals from turnover so far. 4-2 out of their 4 is from turnover.
This is how the game's going to be played. It's just going to be a dour affair. A slugfest.
St Kilda 2-4 from stoppage. So they've had the ascendancy around the ball. Darcy taps it again. St Kilda with a clearing kick up the wing. Higgins gathers, tackled immediately, dispossessed. Fremantle back onto it. Jordan Clark, handball to Banfield. Oh, he second-guessed himself. In the end, just dropped it. Henry takes it to Clark. Now through hands to Sharman. kicks it inside the forward 50. Butler is running back, so too McDonald. McDonald did enough to affect the spoil. It's a dangerous ball inside St Kilda's forward 50. Ball comes out, Owens gathers, can't get a kick, stopped by Warner. Now players crash in. Fremantle will survive for the time being. It'll be a ball up 15 metres out from the attacking goal for St Kilda. They trail by 4 points.
It's 2 chest marks. Did he get a hand in there, McDonald?
Just
crucial fumble by Owens then. That cost him.
Hacking it out. Oh, incredible. Marshall just hacking it out of mid-air in the ruck contest. Threw the right boot at it. Got it to sail through for a major. What a breathtakingly stunning goal. They're back in front, the Saints, with one from the top shelf of remarkable. Just hacked at it. And the crowd, you could hear as everyone got a chance to have another look. Couldn't believe it myself. And the Saints are delighted, as they should be. Yep. 4-6-30 St Kilda, 4-4-28 the Dockers. Well, you don't see that very often. 19 gone in the second.
Sean Darcy just went, well done.
Another goal from stoppage as well.
Saw that. Genuinely pushed him, held his ground against Darcy in the ruck, and as the ball came down past their hands, he just kicked it. It was a perfect volley, top bins.
Top bins, very good.
That's more impressive than the Nate Caddy goal for me. That's so out of the ruck. That is not quite Daniel Wells, but it was pretty good.
It's remarkable.
He's back in the ruck here in the middle of the ground. He taps it out, though, Marshall, only into the path of Erasmus for the Dockers. Kicks inside the forward 50. Big crowd attracted to Darcy. Caminiti at ground level tackle. Did he handball it? Umpire said yes. Voss breaks the tackle. He handballs it straight to McRae. Kick around the body. Wilson couldn't take it. Tracy's down behind play. He looks very sore. Ball bobbling around inside the Dockers attacking 50. Murphy Reid gathers, centres it inside the middle of the 50. Clark flies to the Dockers, couldn't mark. Henry at ground level, umpire will stop play.
Finally.
Josh Tracy's been down since that last contest in a lot of pain. He has medical attention now from the trainers. I'm not sure they should have stopped play there, I will say, because it was a live ball. St Kilda were out. We look at the replay, and coming back with the flight, Alex Taru has put the knee into the ribs of Josh Tracy and got him flush. Nothing untoward. Flying for the ball was Taru, but he got Josh Tracy brilliantly. Now, I don't know about this because St Kilda are moving the ball out, and now it's a ball up in the middle of the 50 for the Dockers as Tracy brushes the trainers off and will reset.
Player safety first.
Ball up in the air. Jackson handballs it straight to McRae. Will handball to steal the kick out the side of his eye. He found Darcy Wilson at left half back who took it beautifully. Nice little step. His kick's a shocker into the middle of the ground, but it might work out. It was going to be marked by St Kilda in the end. It's
his own player.
Dan Butler who receives the free kick. He wanted a 50. It was his own player who missed him with the ball. He gives it to Wanganeen Miller, who's kicked out in front of Keeler. Can't keep it in. That is out of bounds. The umpire gave him a lot of width. Eventually, it was out of bounds. So it was a chaotic minute and a half, but it's a ball in on the broadcast swing, favouring St Kilda's end.
Plenty of advice being offered downstairs from the crowd as Jackson wins the restart. Bounced away of Steele, though, to Garcia to McRae. Kicks the Saints around the body inside forward 50. Ball ricocheting away. Able to take it was Butler. Been able to pick it up. Looked like a throw from Marshall. Umpire says play on, but Cox has got it anyway for the Dockers. To Johnson, lovely hand pass. Came to Brayshaw. Now to Reid. Right up against the boundary line to a 2-on-2 at right half forward. Off hands at the back. First react is Tracy. Oh, Taru has crunched him. Great tackle by the young Saint over the boundary line. That's some seconds in terms of damage he's done to Tracy in the last minute or so. It was the first time the knee into the ribs, and a second time with a very fair but a big crunching hit that had Ross Lyon applauding up in the coach's box. And the restart comes down the direction of Marshall, got it away to Windhager. Kicks up into the air towards centre wing, commentary side. Ryan front position takes the mark for the Dockers. Tells everyone to get away from where he's standing. He'll be told to move it on in just a second. The Saints by 2, 23 gone in the second term.
Stepped off his line in the end, Ryan, and luckily had an outlet kick up the wing to Sarong, who can go by foot inside the centre square to Erasmus. Again, Fremantle just held up. Nothing to go to for the young Docker. Eventually just has to play on. Runs to the broadcast wing logo. Kicks inside the forward 50. Amos flew, couldn't mark. Dudley out of the air. Kicks back to the top of the goal square. Big pack. Off hands. It comes down O'Driscoll. Can he gather? He can. Handballs to Voss on his birthday. He tries to break one. He does. Gets it back to O'Driscoll. It's a high kick from the pocket. Is it straight enough? It is not. It is a minus score. 4-5-29 the Dockers. 4-6-30 the Saints.
St Kilda, they lead by a point. They bring it back in. Comes to Wilson at right half back to Marshall. Got a kick away that tumbles down the southern wing. Makes its way past Clark. It's going to be a throw-in between centre wing and right half forward for St Kilda. Voss looks a little worse for wear off the ball after that collision just moments ago. He tried to take on a couple. Boundary umpire spins it back in. Both rucks had a go. Down to McRae. Got it to Hall. Now to Steele. From centre wing. Kicks towards right half forward. And McDonald in better position. Was able to take the mark in front of Sharman. Oscar McDonald standing with his boots almost on the boundary line. Makes a couple of steps forward. Kicks back towards centre wing southern side. Sinclair up and marking in front of the opposite 35 of Tracy. And made him earn it. Sinclair for the Saints. Up quickly. Comes back towards Wilkie. Prepared just to soak up a few moments to assess what he's got. He can go back to Caminiti in his defensive 50. He'll do so now. The switch is on if he wants. He finds Wanganeen Millera. Hasn't made any distance though. Still just outside his defensive 50 here, Wanganeen Millera. Goes on a bit of a run. Got a kick away towards commentary wing, and that's a good mark. Diving back with a flight of the football, Owens. Hands it off to Wilson, then back to Owens. Clark closed Wilson down. Owens kicks inside forward 50. Jackson flew, dropped the mark, still gathered, gave it to Wood. Wood from 40 out, kicks high up into the air. Warner had two to beat, couldn't mark himself, might have been taken high, he was. Sharman got him around the shoulder, up into the neck, and he'll take the free kick in front of his defensive goal square. The Saints still lead by a point, 26 gone in the second.
Wanted to right half back. O'Driscoll takes the mark. Then a really shocking kick in the end. He set a task for Clark. It went to McRae, who slammed into the Saint in Jordan Clark, and it's a free kick the way of Jackson McRae. Contact in a marking contest technically as McRae goes short to Owens. Not 15, play on. Back to McRae, outside 50, diving, smothered by Clark, knocked it down, then gathered, breaks the tackle, kicks up the wing. It's a terrific effort. There's no one there for the Dockers. Caminiti leads the race. Frederick there, they've got the 2-on-1. St Kilda, Trevalia able to get the handball and kick up centre wing. Once more to Mitch Owens, who has it just next to the logo on the broadcast side. Terrific effort by Clark. It didn't come to anything in the end. The kick from Owens to half forward. Couple of players fly over the back. Sarong tries to gather, can't. McDonald with the Dockers gave it to Jackson. His handball straight to Hall. The kick couldn't bend it around. It's out on the full.
Had a couple opportunities, St Kilda, haven't they?
Yep.
Inside 50s.
Defending really well.
Still the way of the Dockers though, 23-19.
Last couple they've decided to snap where they probably had a forward handball option or lateral handball option to a bloke in a better position.
McRae, by the way, leading disposals out on the ground with 16. Clark with 13 for the Dockers, who have moved the ball towards left half back. A big pack up and through unsurprising. Flew again, couldn't mark at the back. Frederick gathered, took a bounce, got away from him, picked it up again. Hand pass inboard to Tracy, kicks in the direction of Voss. He marks 50 from goal. He'll wheel around. He's got O'Driscoll on, who marks. In line with a right-hand goal post, he's marked 35 out from the big sticks.
A shame for Darcy Wilson then, sliding as the St Kilda winger. He slid to an oppo forward and didn't get any help from behind him. His direct opponent sitting corridor. So no St Kilda high forwards pushing down also, just about to take O'Driscoll in that moment.
Here comes O'Driscoll, puts boot to ball. The crowd will tell the story. He's put Fremantle back in front. Nathan O'Driscoll with his third goal of the season. He gives the Dockers their 5th of the afternoon. 5-5-35 to the Saints, who are 4-6-30. We've travelled 29 minutes into the second term. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner, our experts, Shane Woden and Cara Antonio.
The Fremantle forwards got high again, didn't they? And it was Tracy, Frederick, all involved there. And you're right, O'Driscoll sitting in a nice corridor position, had slid as an option, and his direct opponent went to the deeper one, freed him up.
Yeah, fat side or the off-ball side of where the ball was. The effort by the St Kilda forwards just wasn't there on that occasion.
No, we'll talk about it at half-time, but Fremantle midfield seem to have had no influence on this game. And they're around the ball right now. St Kilda again win it forward. Steele soccers it towards half-forward. Knocks away towards Johnson, though, for the Dockers. Spun in a tackle. Got a handball to Banfield. Under pressure. Loops it to Brayshaw. Took too long. Run down, holding the ball. Hall got him and then let him know. Now the Saints run forward as Hall slowly gets to his feet. The numbers are pushing. Attacking side of the centre square. Max Hall has ball in hand. A lot of numbers inside his attacking 50. He kicks a low dart into the pocket, looking for a target. Couldn't find one in Sharman. It's spilt to Steele. Back to Sharman. His snap hits the left upright. It's a minor score. 4-7-31 St Kilda. 5-5-35 the Dockers. 30 minutes played in the second. They haven't really taken their chances, the Saints.
Dockers work it into the right back pocket. Chapman to Clark. Kicks high again and long towards right half back. Ruck's battling away. Front position was Darcy. Spilled down though to Wilson. Worked it onto Garcia for the Saints. Kicks back inside their forward 50. Spoilt the back, came from Keeler. Sat there for Clark. Clever hand pass onto Hall. Into the right forward pocket he goes. It's a beautifully weighted kick running onto the football. Wood has marked. Deep in the right forward pocket, about 30 from goal.
Great play by the Saints. Probably another handball was there too. Didn't use it. Decided to go inside 50 with a kick. It's been busy, Hall. Looks dangerous at times. But somehow Mason Wood got in behind Johnson as that off-ball winger.
Looking for what I think would be the 6th lead change of the game. Here is Wood, curling it around, but hitting the left-hand goal posts. And we're as we were at quarter time with a 3-point advantage to the Fremantle Dockers after Wood was unable to make the most of that opportunity for the Saints. They're 4-8-32. The Dockers 5-5-35. So a 3-point lead to the Dockers at quarter time. A 3-point lead to the Dockers at half time. The goal kickers for Fremantle, 2 to Tracy, singles to Murphy Reid, Nathan O'Driscoll and Jordan Clark. While for the Saints, their goals to Wanganeen, Miller, Keeler, Marshall and Henry. Just having a repeat for you, by the way. That other game that finished a little bit earlier at the MCG. The Crows winning by 68 points. 18-14, 122 to 8-6-54. 18-14, 122 to 8-6-54. What else do I need to tell you before we hear from our experts? Oh, a bit of MRO news. No suspension, by the way, for Fiorini for the incident that left Harrison Petty concussed yesterday. The MRO saying the incident involving the Gold Coast Suns' Braden Fiorini and Melbourne's Harrison Petty from the second quarter of Saturday's match was assessed by the MRO. View of the MRO that Fiorini generally contests the ball. It was reasonable for him to contest in that way. No further action was taken. There were 14 players fined for wrestling and melee offences from that Gold Coast Melbourne game as well.
Nothing for Stephen May on the actual spoil as well, I've noted.
Nothing, which was the other point that I was about to get to. Jai Simpkin, by the way, fined for striking Lloyd Meek. Tom Barras fined for rough conduct against Paul Curtis. But yeah, the big point out of all that was going to be what happened with that. Well, it was a pretty ugly spoil on May, it must be said, but nothing doing according to the officials. So at least I guess we've seen a bit of consistency with what we've seen earlier this year with attempted spoils and the damage that's done under those circumstances.
Just brush with the bicep, wasn't it? It wasn't really a swinging arm strike.
We've seen
Well,
ones
they're clumsy, but
We've seen ones that look worse that
Yes.
they've let go, which I guess was the point that we were sort of trying to make.
that sparked the melee.
Yeah, which is where all the fines have come from.
Clayton Oliver and Jed Walsh, that was a big one. Those two just going at it.
There's an enormous list of fines here. The AFL, the coffers will be much, much bigger. Fills an entire page of my book to have a look at everyone who's been fined from that. But no suspension to speak of along those lines. So let's get the thoughts of our experts. What have you made of all that? It's tight. Hasn't been always that pretty, but at least it's a contest here between the Dockers and the Saints. Shane Woden, Cara Antonio.
No, certainly not an exciting game from a spectator point of view. But as we probably thought, that's how very controlled, long down the line contest game. And St Kilda, again, still dominating statistically in a lot of key areas, and particularly around stoppage. And I think they're plus 14 in stoppage, plus 21 in grab ball. So they're increasing by half-time as well, just probably not capitalising on some opportunities when they do go inside 50 and create that 4 goals, 8. So that's 12 from 21 entries. They'd love to be 8 goals, 4. Be a different story, as we all know. But to Darragh Fair, it's an arm wrestle at the moment, and which one's willing to break at the moment, we'll see. But right now, it's anyone's game to be dated. It's just a strong contest game right now.
It is a bit of a scrap, isn't it, inside? For me, we speak about the clearance differential and to hit-outs. Obviously, Fremantle dominating hit-outs, but St Kilda on the other end are dominating clearance. Out of their 25 clearances, in particular that quarter, they've had 18 effective for St Kilda, so they're clearly being able to chain the ball out. You notice around stoppage as well, Fremantle mids trying to push their direct opponent under the ball, trying to get it on the outside, but it's just not working. Bit of lack of connection perhaps, with particularly when Darcy goes in to his 3 mids. So just need to tidy up on that aspect of their game. But yeah, again, 2 different kind of styles with score sources. Fremantle dominating the turnover game, so pressure, push up. And it's not happening inside the contest, but outside.
Yeah. More thoughts from our experts very shortly. Cara Antonia and Shane Woden. The Dockers at halftime, 5-5-35 to the Saints, 4-8-32. Let's pause here and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News with David Rowlands. The federal government is hoping a ceasefire between Israel and Iran will help build momentum towards a cessation of hostilities in Gaza. US President Donald Trump says Israel and Hamas are close to agreeing to a ceasefire, and he expects a deal within the next week. It follows last week's US-sanctioned ceasefire between Tel Aviv and Tehran after their so-called 12-day war. Cabinet Minister Tanya Plibersek says that Australia wants peace in Gaza as well.
When you look at the catastrophic consequences of the ongoing conflict in Gaza, the number of deaths we continue to see, most people see that these 2 conflicts are related, and we need to make sure that we are urging peace in both circumstances.
The Ukrainian military says one of its pilots has been killed and his F-16 fighter jet lost while repelling a large-scale Russian missile and drone attack over Ukraine. It says the pilot used all his onboard weapons and shot down 7 targets, but while attacking the last one, his aircraft was damaged and began to lose altitude. Ukraine says it's the 3rd loss of an F-16 during the conflict, which began in February of 2022. US President Donald Trump's contentious package of tax breaks and spending cuts has come a step closer to approval by Congress following a vote in the Senate. Larry Buttrose has the details.
The margin was close, passing 51 to 49. Vice President J.D. Vance was on standby at the Capitol, but in the end, his casting vote wasn't required. With negotiations going on late into the night, 2 Republicans held out and voted with the Democrats, Senators Tom Tillis of North Carolina and Rand Paul of Kentucky. Senator Tillis said he couldn't support the bill because of grave Medicaid cuts he worried would leave many without health care in his state. The procedural vote clears the way for a final vote on the president's so-called Big Beautiful Bill in the Senate.
Back home, and a man has been charged over an alleged murder on the Gold Coast in southeast Queensland. Queensland police say a 44-year-old man found unresponsive in a vehicle in Southport last night was taken to hospital with a head injury but later died. Officers took a 28-year-old man into custody early today and has been charged with murder. He'll appear in court tomorrow. Victoria's Minister for the Suburban Rail Loop is again spruiking the project, saying commuters in Melbourne's east will spend far less time on public transport once the first section is completed. Figures from government transport planners suggest students travelling on the Eastern Line from Cheltenham to Monash or Deakin University would cut their commute by 40 minutes when compared to existing public transport options. The first section of the multi-billion-dollar project is set to open in 2035. Minister Harriet Shing says the rail loop will set up Melbourne's future.
The suburban rail loop is proceeding because we know that the need is there, but it's also about making sure that as we grow and as we move to becoming a city the size of London by the 2050s, we're growing well.
Residents in Melbourne's northwest say they're shocked that a body was discovered in the area as part of a search for missing man Joshua Bishop. Missing persons squad detectives searching for the 23-year-old who was last seen in Sunbury last month found the yet-to-be-identified remains at a home in West Meadows. A 27-year-old man was arrested and will be interviewed by police. Nearby resident Kylie says the news has affected her family.
Last night, my 13-year-old son just had a really bad panic attack and was really scared and wanted to move because he felt really unsafe. And I tried to explain to him that he is safe, but it's just, we say it's a bit close to home, but it literally is close to home.
British police are looking into remarks by rap punk duo Bob Vylan and Irish language rap group Kneecap, broadcast live by the BBC from the Glastonbury Festival in the United Kingdom. More on this story from the BBC's Charlotte Gallagher.
Bob Vylan led the crowd in a chant of death, death to the IDF, a reference to the Israeli army. The BBC said the language was deeply offensive, that a warning had been issued on screen about discriminatory language, and that the performance wouldn't be rebroadcast or made available on the iPlayer. The Culture Secretary, Lisa Nandy, said she'd spoken to the BBC Director General to seek an urgent explanation about what due diligence the corporation had carried out ahead of the act. The police say they're assessing the comments made by Bob Vylan as well as part of Kneecap's set.
And in AFL, Adelaide has thrashed Richmond by 68 points at the MCG. ABC News.
The ABC Listen app has it all. The British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia, Wimbledon, and West Indies versus Australia. Oh, and did I mention we're doing the footy every weekend? ABC Sport on the ABC Listen app. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Hands it off to Wanganeen Miller. Takes a couple of bounces. Still going. Stepped inside. Oh, run down by Tracy. He got him and let him know all about it as well. So too did Frederick. And now it is on.
Wood through traffic. His handball was knocked away. Went back in. Tapped it towards Liam Henry. The crowd won't like this. The Saints will. And Henry gives them the shush. Finger to the mouth. Liam Henry. The boos come. He doesn't care. He's got his first.
Hand pass off again to Frederick. Goes bursting down the left forward pocket. Back to Reid. Shoots at goal. Wonderful goal. Murphy Reid. That is a class finish. Marshall just hacking it out of mid-air in the ruck contest. Threw the right boot at it. Got it to sail through for a major. What a breathtakingly stunning goal. Kicks in the direction of Voss. He marks 50 from goal. He'll wheel around. He's got O'Driscoll on who marks. Here comes O'Driscoll. Puts boot to ball. The crowd will tell the story. He's put Fremantle back in front.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
And a warm welcome to our listeners who've joined us from the rest of the nation after the Richmond-Adelaide game. Welcome to Perth Stadium. Overcast conditions. It's a coolish day, but there's plenty of heat in the contest. Not the prettiest of games, which shouldn't surprise anyone that has watched previous encounters between Fremantle and St Kilda, but nonetheless, absorbing what's unfolding so far. It was 3 points the difference to the Dockers at quarter time. It's exactly the same at half time. About 18 degrees at the moment. Josh Tracy's kicked 2 goals for the Dockers. Nathan O'Driscoll, Murphy Reid and Jordan Clark, the other goal kickers for the Saints. Wanganeen Miller, Isaac Keeler, Liam Henry, and Rowan Marshall has kicked one of the most ridiculous goals you were ever likely to see. The ball from a ruck contest, from a restart, it was thrown in. He's just hacked it out of midair and was able to, on the volley, soccer it through. Up into the air it went, almost into the second tier. Incredible effort, especially considering that at the same time he was trying to hold off Sean Darcy as he did so. So it is half-time here at Perth Stadium. The Dockers are 5-5-35 to the Saints 4-8-32. Ross the Boss, Ross Lyon, up against the Dockers for the first time in Perth since he took over again at St Kilda. Of course, his record against Fremantle is very impressive. They've played, or he's coached the Saints on 12 occasions against the Dockers, and he's won 10 of those games. Notably, of course, most recently when St Kilda flogged Fremantle back in round 8 of this season by 61 points. It hasn't been as lopsided so far, with the Dockers, who started the week in 6th, looking to climb back a little bit higher up into the 8th. They're currently in 8th spot with the way that the games have gone so far. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. We'll get some numbers from Mitch in just a moment. They're in front of him. Certainly some fascinating ones as well. Our experts are Cara Antonio, the former Dockers captain and All-Australian, and Brownlow medalist Shane Woden. Experts team, for those who've just joined us, have a little recap for what you've seen so far between the Dockers and the Saints. What stood out for you? I'm most intrigued that the Saints haven't decided to go with the hard tag. That's what we thought would happen all week. There's certainly been players playing on each other, but they haven't had the shutdown roles that we saw when these sides met each other early in the season, about just trying to blanket Caleb Sarong and Andrew Brayshaw.
Well, it certainly looks like he's at stoppage, but it doesn't look like it's a lockdown hard Windhager like with Dacos the previous week, and like Caleb's only had the 8. Like, their mids for Fremantle have struggled to find the footy today. It's probably more their backs been lining up, whereas St Kilda's the opposite. Their mids have found a little bit of ball, although not big numbers, certainly. Probably bar McRae and Gus here, but they're very solid at the moment. But yeah, because of that, it's not a transitional game. It's really hard to find the footy at the moment. It's probably just long to contest, and if you don't win that, you get missed and you're bypassed, and it goes back in your front half. So it's an intriguing game at the moment. It's just an arm wrestle, play between the arcs a little bit, but not high octane, which the game is probably being played today.
Freo in front, Cara, but gee whiz, St Kilda have spurned a couple of scoring chances.
Yeah, they have dominating clearances we've been speaking about. Three of their 4 goals come from stoppage, whereas Fremantle, their goals have come from turnover. So 2 completely different styles of game, whereas we've known in the past for Fremantle dominate clearance and get a lot of their score from that area. So clearly St Kilda gone to work during the week and identified that's the area that they can beat Fremantle at, which they're doing a really good job at. However, probably butchered a few opportunities where they've snapped it, where they could have given an extra handball forward of the ball to get a bloke in a better position, a better look. So, yeah, I think the mids of Fremantle need to get to work, get their hands on the footy, and work a bit harder ahead of the ball.
And is this where Nat Fyfe can be a thing?
I was about to say, one of the more interesting points about that in particular is the hit-outs have gone Fremantle's way so convincingly. Mitch Turner's got the numbers in front of him.
That number's 29-11 the way of the Dockers, but the clearance count is 25-11 the way of St Kilda. They are smashing them around the ball. Contested possessions as well. They lead by 12, St Kilda. They lead the tackles. The tackles have evened up this quarter, 32 apiece. The inside 50 count is 25-21 the way of Fremantle, but Saints have had more scoring shots. Individually, Jack McRae's had 17 disposals and 4 clearances. Garcia, he's had 16 touches, 5 clearances. Rowan Marshall, 15 disposals, 11 clearances and a goal. Jack Steele, 15 touches for him. For the Dockers, Jordan Clark's had 14 disposals. Luke Ryan and Andrew Brayshaw with 12. Murphy Reid with 11 to go with his goal as well. Just some of those other players we keep an eye on. Caleb Sarong, as mentioned, just 8 touches. Luke Jackson's had the 8 disposals. Shea Bolton 7 across the other side. Asai Wangani Miller up, better quarter, but he's had 9 to go this goal. So the big name disposal getters aren't exactly having much of an influence on this game. And
your good question is,
does Nat Fyfe help in that second half? This is what he's in the side for, to come in and help at stoppage, and they're getting beaten up like they were in round 8.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd need a big body in there. I'd give it the first 5 or 6 minutes, and it's probably Jai Miss right now, who hasn't touched the footy and had no influence on this contest at all. Although it's been tough for key forwards, for any forward line, but both halves. You know, Tracy and Voss have only had it 5 times, but Jai has not touched it at all yet. So
Zero.
So yeah, you're probably pulling the trigger a little bit early in the sub today, and maybe injecting a bigger body mid to help those ones around the contest right now.
Want to get in touch with us as always? We'll have to hear from you. 0437 774 774. That's the number to send us a text message. Both teams back out on the ground. It has been a genuine arm wrestle between them. I've really enjoyed the first opportunity to see live, because he's only played a couple of games so far. His second game for pick 10 from last year's national draft. Alex Tarou does not mind flying for the football, and for those who've watched Bounce on Fox Footy, the old golden fist, he would be an absolute shoo-in to win that at some stage in the future. He knows how to get to the footy. He loves to spoil it.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's taken him, or St Kilda, this long to play him. He come in with big raps, and whether or not he's had a couple of injuries early or just hasn't had the VFL. I watched him at RSCA Park a couple of weeks ago when I was over in Melbourne when Sandra Ham playing Southport. Just went down and have a look, and yeah, he was magnificent that day too. High flying, maybe about 16 or 18 touches, but kills the ball with real vigour, doesn't he? There's no soft drops there. He puts it over the fence, and he's an incredible talent.
Unbelievable with what we've seen so far. I know everyone who had a look at last year's draft picks thought the Saints have got an absolute gun with what he's been able to do, and alongside Toby Travalia as well, he has been impressive, the other 18-year-old out there. So a lot to like from some of these St Kilda youngsters. 13 shots at goals for the Saints so far. They've just kicked the 4 goals for 832, trailing Fremantle 5-5-35. And for our listeners in the West, just worth repeating that score from where our other listeners have come from, the game at the MCG, where the Crows won that by 68 points, 18-14, 122, beating the Tigers 8-6-54. The big story out of that game, not just that result, but also that Tom Lynch hit. Almost old school days of VFL football from what we saw from that. So it's certainly going to be looked at, and I'd be staggered if there isn't a hefty penalty coming his way from the MRO. We might talk about more of that if we get a chance in the post-game. We're seeing the replays here. But we're about to get this third term underway. The Dockers lead the Saints by 3 points. Here's Mitch Turner for you on ABC Sport.
And the Saints do it again to the Dockers. They only trail by 3. Second half underway. Brayshaw first hands. Gave it straight to McRae, though, of the Saints. Off to Sinclair by hand. His kick inside the forward 50. Ricochets off the face of Luke Ryan towards Owens, who is taken high clumsily by Chapman. Free kick St Kilda. Left half forward. Owens wheels. Kicks towards the hot spot. From behind, Sharman gets there. Can't take the mark. Higgins at ground level. Handballed it straight to Jordan Clark, who releases it to Matthew Johnson under pressure, just throws it on the left boot, and a bit of pressure release. The late hit on Johnson will be a downfield free kick to Brayshaw. Just a little undisciplined to let Fremantle out there. Andrew Brayshaw with 13 disposals so far, one that Fremantle need to get going. Marcus Windhager stands the mark. Brayshaw goes short to Bolton, who takes the mark on the chest in front of Garcia. Slow ball movement again. Bolton, a lazy one-step kick. Just gets to Chapman on the bounce. He's got to contend with Windhager. Did well in the end. Stepped around him, lost his footing, was able to get back up. Kicks up towards Tracy and Jackson. They spoil each other. Sarong knocks it into the path of Johnson. Moving it up the broadcast swing. Jackson to Murphy Reid. The kick over the top wasn't great for Amos. He got a fingertip on it in front of Caminiti, which avoided the out of bounds on the full. And it'll be tossed in the left forward pocket for the Dockers. Graham Farmer freeway, and they still lead by 3 points, 90 seconds into the third term.
Spun back into play. Jackson got there first. Tapped it down two-handed. Scooped up here. Good tackle. Was it Bolton or Bolton's tackle has been too much on Windhager? His head's gone into the ground, had both arms pinned. Oh, Windhager went back towards full back. They've turned it over. Frederick couldn't get a kick away. Windhager's there to mop it up. He's tackled by Voss. Thought he should have been holding the ball. Instead, it's going the other way as Windhager was hurled into the ground. He'll get the free kick. There's a bit happening early doors in this third quarter. Windhager looking a bit worse for wear. Hands it off to Wanganeen Miller, who'll go short into the right back pocket to Taru. They almost conceded a goal, Windhager. He'd been involved in everything. And then Taru was able to stab the ball short, but accurately enough to Stocker, who marks in front of Dudley for the Saints. Kicks in the middle of the ground, winning it down there. Warner over the top of Sinclair. It's spilled there to Frederick. Shoots on goal. He misses. A minor score to the left from about 45 metres out, but right in front. The Dockers stretched their lead to 4 points 3 minutes into the third.
I agree with both those free kicks.
Here we go.
Just overzealous. Just no need. Like, we're trying to remove that from the game. Got to protect the head.
So a couple of free kicks given away by the Dockers. They still managed to get the scoring playthrough behind. Wanganeen Miller will bring the ball back in. He plays on. Runs inside defensive 50. Kicks it up to the wing over the back. Chapman gets a fist in over the top of Owens and knocks it out of bounds. Both players seem fine so far from St Kilda. So the medical staff went out, had a quick check, and they were fine. Marcus Windhager is at this stoppage. Bodes well for both the Dockers. Jackson taps it down. Johnson couldn't take it. Spills to Marshall. Windhager through traffic. Handball back to Hall, who's having quite some game. His kick up the wing, though. Oh, marked by Warner, who was crunched late by Owens. It'll be 50 metres. It was courageous from Carl Warner, who has told us an extra time over here in the West that he will never shirk going back when he has to go. And he certainly did then. Had eyes for the ball, and Owens... nothing too untoward. He was just late to the contest, but it was 50 metres. And Carl Warner will be marched up the wing. The man on the mark about 47 out.
It didn't hit him in the head either, so... it's still a challenging one for players, isn't it?
Sometimes it's just 50 metres and we move on, and that is all that it was. And I don't think there's anything to it for Mitch Owens. Carl Warner, though, has never kicked a goal in his AFL career. He'll kick from 50. It's a beautiful strike. He just pulls it away to the left, and it's a minor score. Got plenty of purchase. He still hasn't got a career goal. Carl Warner, 5-7-37 the Dockers, 4-8-32 the Saints.
You could sense his teammates willing it on. And head downstairs to Bridget Lacey in just a moment. The Saints with the kick in have gone to Wanganeen Miller up. What's happening here? They're going to go back to Sinclair. Oh, there's a player coming off the ground. It's Windhager. Bridget, what have you got for us?
The doctor motioned to Marcus Windhager to come off, and he just said, no, I'm not coming off. And in this situation, they've stepped in and made him come off, which I think is positive.
Unlike what we saw yesterday in the West Coast game, the doctors made the right decision and said, we'll pause the game here. We want you to come off the ground. Well done to the medical staff for St Kilda. Sinclair, short for Taru, back to Sinclair. Kicks beyond defensive 50 towards right half back. Waiting underneath it, Steele got crunched but took the mark.
Great mark.
Huge courage from the Saints captain. He's up, wants an option. We'll get told to move it on. Closed down by Clark. Kicks towards the wing. And he got a touch on it. Spilled down to the Dockers, though, to Brayshaw, to Clark again. Brayshaw got upended. Free kick, they'll take the advantage through Bolton, then Dudley. Up into the air, the kick goes inside forward 50. Tracy had two goes at it. Wanganeen Miller snatched it away, but turns it over. Kicking beyond defensive 50. Marked instead at right half forward by McDonald. Back into the right forward pocket. Amos couldn't mark. Spoiled away from him and over the boundary line for a throw-in. Good effort defensively from the Saints. It won't surprise anyone that it's Alex Taru who punches it over the boundary line. Throw in about 47 out from the Dockers attacking goal in the right forward pocket.
Windhager was the recipient of both dangerous tackles, so he didn't have a lot of a case to make in that regard. Garcia hacks it off the deck for St Kilda. Again, Warner went back with courage, couldn't take the mark. Butler was there at the fall of the ball for the Saints. They have no one forward, though. His tumbling kick ends up with Luke Ryan, who handballs to Brayshaw, put him under pressure. Brayshaw looping handball to Cox. They're at half back here, the Dockers. Eventually, Cox by hand back to Brayshaw, and they get out of there. It's not a great kick, but it finds Johnson on the wing. Handball to the run of Warner. Forward handball to Murphy-Reid, just forward of the southern wing. Kicks into the pocket, Bolton. Backing back, takes the mark. Good protection from Pat Voss, and I imagine he'll have the set shot here from about 45 metres out. Very, very tight angle to the right.
10 spoils today for Taru.
The Rising Star nomination coming. He's been brilliant, hasn't he?
Brilliant. 10.
He has been very, very impressive.
A couple of those spoils you probably got a mark too.
And that'll come, won't it?
It will.
Yeah.
The Dockers need a bit of magic. They need something special just to get them going. Shea Bolton is capable of the miraculous. Shea Bolton, he's showtime. He threads the needle from the boundary. Could that be the spark the Dockers need? Bolton gets his first. The lead's out to 11 points, 6-7-43 Fremantle. St Kilda 4-8-32, 8 minutes into the third term before we hear from our experts. Bridget Lacey is down on the boundary.
Yeah, Marcus Windhager, as you mentioned, he had the 2 dangerous tackles against him. Really didn't want to come off. It was finally forced off, and he allowed the doctor to look at him for about a minute and then jumped straight back onto his feet, wanting to come back on the ground, and he came back on just as that goal was being kicked. So no issues going forward, it seems, for Marcus Windhager.
Well, another goal from the back half of the ground for Freo from turnover. Really, St Kilda shot themselves in the foot. They sent too many to the ball carrier, probably needed to cover off and could have created their own turnover in the forward half of the ground and had a look themselves. But Freo go down the other end and finish it, truly.
We'll have to bring that bounce back. So 11 points the margin. Game equal high by the time it hit the 11-point mark at the 6-minute mark of the second term. Dockers in front from the restart. Kicking in danger from Marshall? No, according to the officials. Clark picks it up, sends it inside forward 50. Out after it, Sharman tried to shovel it out. There was Wagner. He got tackled to ground, wrapped up by Wood. It's going to be a ball up, right half forward for the Saints. Just where the 50s normally painted on the ground. It's put aloft. I think it was Marshall with the more telling tap at the back. It went down to Sarong for the Dockers, to Clark by hand, now to Chapman. From left half back, he'll kick towards centre wing. Attacking the football with genuine zest was Stocker. It was a one-on-one battle between Tracy and Wilkie. Stocker came across to assist his fellow Saint and punched the ball across the boundary line for a throw-in between left half back and centre wing. Dockers lead by 11. 10 gone in the third. Put back into play off the forearm of Darcy, down towards Clark. Jackson got him, wrapped him up, took him to ground. A solid but very tough tackle. There's been a number of those this afternoon here on Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Darcy and Marshall will go at it again. Darcy tapped it down to Sarong. Little handball to Jordan Clark. Pivots, kicks on his left, and it's straight up the line to Wilkie. Takes the intercept mark for St Kilda. Looks inboard. What about the 45? The switch into the middle. Opted not to go that option in the end. Kicks up the wing. Jackson in front. Couldn't mark. Free kick going to Darcy, though. He was wrestling with Marshall. It's been a bit of a lotto between those two today. This one falls the way of the purple, and Sean Darcy will win it.
What about the rugby pass from Corey
Very
Wagner?
Good by Corey Wagner, who got it back to Sean Darcy, who goes the traditional Aussie rules drop punt up the wing. Wilkie couldn't take it, ends up laying on top, and Jackson lays up on top of him. Could have been out there for the force last night. Wagner might have helped him. Ball up in between wing and half forward.
He's from Queensland. And a win here, of course, a couple of weeks ago in the State of Origin for the Rugby League. And the restart, Darcy took possession, tackled. Umpire said we'll ball it up again. Darcy against Keeler. Keeler brought it down, got it himself. Lost possession when he was tackled by Erasmus. That's holding the ball. Incorrect disposal. We'll see Erasmus have it. About 65 from goal at left half forward for the Dockers. Kicking to the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium in this, the third term. They're up by 11 points, 6-7 plays, 4-8. Rasmus. He'll send it towards left full forward. Massive pack up, off hands. Spills down to Caminiti. To Travalia, got it out to McRae. It was a free kick. Travalia was being held without the football here. It'll come back to him. He might have got a few afters after he got rid of it anyway. Eventually, Luke Ryan saying, who do I give this to? Where does it go? So it's going to be where the ball landed. The kick will be taken by Clark, who moves it on beyond defensive 50 to right half back to Windhager.
So back out there and clearly feeling fine is Marcus Windhager. Has ball in hand. Defensive side of the broadcast wing. Kicks further afield looking for Machito Owens. Couldn't mark. Spills down to Hall. Nice little deft touch on the kick to Higgins, who immediately rolls. Kicks inside the forward 50 in front. Wood can't mark. Jordan Clark at ground level. Tackle. Did well to stay tall, stay strong and find McDonald, whose peering kick is in between two Dockers. It's over the head of Ryan. It's too short for Reid. It's out of bounds for a boundary throw in.
Long down the line. Just someone's got to better pierce through the corridor so he can get it out the back.
Jordan Clark's up to 19 touches for the Dockers. Jackson McRae, 20 disposals. He's having a great year for St Kilda. Wagner through traffic, tried to burst through, was tackled. What a game this man is having. Max Hall wins the free kick, goes laterally inside the centre square to Hunter Clark. Now the Dockers are the ones flooding back. Clark plays off. Plays on, runs off his line, kicks into the pocket. Big fist from Banfield over the back. McDonald tracking back there with Wood. It stays in. Higgins handballs it back into a dangerous spot. Middle of the 50. Chapman breaks one tackle, spins out of another. Brilliant. Through hands. Johnson to Frederick. Oh, he took some time. He hesitated. He was tackled. The umpire gave him benefit of the doubt. The ball will be tossed up inside the forward 50 for St Kilda. They trail by 11 points, 13 into the third.
Throwing up, neither right got a touch on it. Spilled down in the direction of Johnson. He was immediately tackled into the ground. His head hit the dirt as well. No problems according to the officials. Clark was the saint that did the defending. And throwing up again. Darcy palmed it down with the left. Ball ricochets around. Still not coming out of the pack. Johnson tackles a saint who's buried underneath some bodies. It's Higgins underneath all of that. Throws it back to the umpire. He'll put it back aloft again in the left forward pocket for St Kilda. Darcy took clean possession, got a kick away. It was smothered. Came out through Erasmus, then Clark. Kick into the middle of the ground. Gets past the Saint there in Stocker. Bolton elects to soccer it along the ground. Amos should be able to get there first. He will. He elects to soccer it forward. Saints have the numbers. The ball continues to bounce and it will trundle across the behind line to the left. It was a 3-on-1 in St Kilda's favour. Amos decided to just kick it forward. Didn't go the way he wanted. Minor score. 6-8 plays 4-8. It's a 12-point advantage to the Dockers. 15 gone into the third term.
Dangerous kick up the middle and a really good grab taken by Tsuru, who handballs off to his fellow youngster in Travalia. Kick up the broadcast side. Owens flew. Couldn't really make a genuine attempt in the end. It goes out the back. Fremantle have the numbers at left half back. Banfield handball across to Clark. Ran into a little bit of danger and then able to find McDonald on the other side of his defensive 50. Moves it out through right half back. Johnson took the mark. The umpire paid it. He spilled it in the end. He runs away from Darcy Wilson. Breaks the tackle. Takes a bounce and a dangerous kick to the wing. Bolton tried to just punch it out of the air. It went straight back to St Kilda. And now Wilkie can send it up the southern side to Higgins.
Looks to move it inboard but turns it over to Clark, who has it for the Dockers at right half back. Pauses for a moment. Will now be told to play on. Clark will kick in the direction of Reid. Murphy Reid marks just forward of centre wing, southern side of Perth Stadium. Off a step, he'll go looking for Frederick. He's going to have to battle with Caminiti. Caminiti got there and spoiled it across the boundary line for a throw-in at right half forward. 16 gone in the third, still a 12-point lead. It's the biggest margin in the game so far in favour of Fremantle. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport, on ABC Radio, Sport Digital, of course the ABC Listen app. Darcy palmed it down. Clark gathered for the Saints. Was able to get a moment to then hand it on to Marshall. Kicks towards left half forward. Banfield applied pressure. And Wood went over the boundary line, as did the football between centre wing and left half forward southern side. It'll be spun back in again. The term arm wrestle doesn't do it any real favours as a contest, but it has been absorbing. One down by Marshall. Chance to burst through for Garcia. Kicks inside forward 50. Sharman dropped it. Higgins ran over it, picking it up. Wood hand passes back to Sharman. Got it onto Butler. He snaps and kicks a goal for the Saints. They just kept working and working at it, St Kilda, and they bring the margin back to a goal. The Saints move to be 5-8-38 to Fremantle 6-8-44. 17 gone in the third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Your experts, Cara Antonio and Shane Woden.
Garcia-Marshall connection at stoppage was terrific. Got through the lane. And drive his legs too, which was really important, just to get that extra yardage and get it a bit of a deeper entry. And then the Smalls went to work at ground level. Good contest. Bring it to ground. Another goal from stoppage for St Kilda.
Held better shape as well. Fremantle defenders got goal side, but Saints small forwards were in the better position. That extra handball that we've been spoken about got given to Baker, and really nice goal.
Freo chant goes up. They're trying to lift their side. St Kilda will not go away. Back in the middle. Saints have been dominating here all day. On this occasion, the Dockers win it. Darcy, handball to Bolton. Kick towards half forward. Murphy Reid gets a fist in there. Frederick Crumbs gives it to Amos. Spots the player in the middle of the 50. Erasmus marks. They win a clearance, and now they have a shot on goal. It's been rare out of the middle, but Neil Erasmus will have the chance to go back and put the goal through, his first of the season if he can.
Well done by. Try could have had a shot on his non-preferred, but selfishly centred the ball to Erasmus. Finding some continuity in his game, isn't he? And some consistency with selection.
0-2 this year. Neil Erasmus set shots. Hits the left post, and that post at the Crab Farm of Freeway end has been hit a number of times today. He should have kicked that directly in front. Not to be. 6-9-45 the Dockers, 5-8-38 the Saints. 19 into the third.
Needs danger money, that post. The Saints work it back across the face of goal through Chevalier, and then on in turn to Wanganeen Miller. Kicks in the direction of Windhager at left half back. Gathered the footy off the deck. Gave it again to Wilkie. Sent it down the southern side. And it's going to be a free kick the way of Oscar McDonald. Interfered with, attempting to mark by Wood. And have it just shy of the logo. Dockers in their Starlight Foundation jumper. If you've just joined us, the middle row of normally the white chevrons been replaced by Starlight Foundation stars. It is their 23rd Purple Haze game. Raising money for the Starlight Children's Foundation. From left half back, Cox went for Voss. Couldn't mark it. Spilled down again here for Sharman. To Wanganeen Miller of the Saints. To the former Docker in Henry. Kicks inside forward 50. Leading out Wood. Has he been infringed? He was. Had the arms chopped. He'll get the free kick. He can go and have a shot at goal from just inside 50. He'll start in line from the right hand behind post.
Just starting to feel now the game's opening up a fraction. A little bit more transition. Players starting to fatigue a bit more. A few gaps are starting to open up.
Looking for his first of the day. Mason Wood makes his way in. Kick looked all right. Oh, that's crashed into the right-hand goalpost at the city end of the ground. Like there's a magnet in them. 6-9-45 the Dockers, 5-9-39 the Saints, 20 gone in the third term. A football magnet. Magnet wouldn't bring leather towards it. I am aware before you text in.
Ryan plays on out of fullback, kicks to the southern wing in front. Strong was Cox, paid the mark. Some of those Dockers players have been nullified by St Kilda today. Caleb Sarong, just 10 disposals. 8 in the first half, just 2 in this quarter. Cox's kick up the wing didn't help Amos at all. And it's knocked away by Caminiti.
It's been good, Caminiti. Made some good decisions coming forward, leaving his man spoil the footy.
Ball will be tossed back in. Marshall and Jackson go at it. The fall of the ball, Johnson for the Dockers tapped it towards Wagner, and there was a free kick at the contest. It looks like it was a holding call on Jack McRae, who win the ball for disposal 21. His kick not 15. Sinclair has to play on immediately. Just runs around Brayshaw with ease. Kicks into the pocket, looking for a marking target in front, unable to take it is Shum, and it's spoiled out of bounds in the left forward pocket for St Kilda, kicking towards the city end. Just a straight kick in it at the moment. 6 points the margin. They've played 22 minutes in this third quarter. And the ball will be tossed back in from the restart. Snapping on the left. It was almost perfect by Hunter Clark. He couldn't bend it around. It brings the margin back within a kick, though. 5-10-40 St Kilda. 6-9-45 Fremantle.
Here's Ryan. It's the pink boots in motion, then kicks along to the outer side. There's 4 Saints to 1 Docker out there, and unsurprisingly, they end up with a football. Caminiti marks. Moves it on by hand to Sinclair, to Windhager, onto McRae, inside forward 50. Centering ball to the teeth of goal, off hands. Frederick couldn't gather. Done pretty well, I reckon, Michael Frederick, just fumbling it across the behind line for a rush behind. It's closer again.
Try miss has got to go with Caminiti then.
4 points the difference in favour of the Dockers. 22 gone in the third.
Banfield receives the kick in. A bit of dancing, then kicks up the wing. Another spoil by Taru. It's knocked down to ground level, though. The Dockers have it. Jackson to Erasmus, to Voss. Handball over the top to Frederick. Here they go. Finally some run for Fremantle. O'Driscoll gathers, takes a bounce. Dangerous kick inside to Brayshaw. He's able to gather on the half volley. Chips it back towards O'Driscoll. Left half forward, right at the 50-metre junction. He wanted to keep going. There was nothing there. And now he signals that he's going to go long and just bomb it. Inside the 50, Saints have a lot of numbers. Flying from behind. Oh, Taru! This kid is special. What a game he is playing. Takes the mark. He's been punching them all day. His kick, though, is a dangerous one. It finds Hall, who's also having a ripping day, goes wide to Wood.
Wood immediately plays on for the Saints to a one-on-one at right half forward. Owens behind Warner. He takes the mark. Looks inboard, finds an option. Stabs it that way to Wanganeen Millera. Hand pass onto the run of Hall. 51 out from goal. He kicks it for the Saints. He liked it a lot too. Did the double cobra. And the Saints, they're delighted with that response. And they've hit the lead here at Perth Stadium. 25 minutes into the third term. St Kilda 6-11-47. The Dockers 6-9-45. Max Hall. That is some sort of a goal. Bridget Lacey downstairs.
Yeah, Shea Belton came to the bench and was complaining it looked to be like a wrist or thumb problem. So he's got some fresh strapping around his right wrist and thumb, but he's back in there for this centre bounce.
St Kilda just look like they're running on top of the ground at the moment. That goal went through. Great passage of play from the back half of the ground, but every single one of the Dockers players on hands on their knees, absolutely gassed.
Hall was the one that took the mark from Taru.
Yep.
Here on defensive 50, so great work rate to be able to get up and then rip back as a high forward. Been good today.
This will be the best game of his career, I'd say. He is playing an incredible game of football, Hall. 17 touches, now a goal. Ball in the middle, Marshall. Took it out of the ruck, little handball to Steele. His handball missed Butler, but found Wanganeen Millera. Hat kick towards half forward, and Jordan Clark takes the intercept bar. Dockers are lucky they've got him out there today. He has
been their best.
Definitely been their best. He goes wide to Chapman, who's kicked up the southern wing, and it's punched away. Guess who? Alex Taru punches it away from Amos. He has been brilliant. Let you check the spoil count. Well, if it's there, but he has been absolutely everywhere. This is a real breakout game early in his career for Alex Taru. Ball spun back in. Steele emerges with it from the stoppage. Kick towards half forward. It bounces off Owens. Spills into the path of Clark. His handball stolen. St Kilda at half forward. Ball comes to Hall. Kicks towards the top of the goal square. Keeler out to mark. And some of these young Saints are tearing the Dockers apart.
Keeler will have the set shot 20 metres out, slightly worse than a 45-degree angle.
They put it all together, St Kilda. Actually dangerous. Again, find it consistency week to week.
Isaac Keeler, they hold pretty high stocks for this 21-year-old as well. An athletic type. This to extend the margin for St Kilda. Keeler, set shot, no worries. Keeler has his second. The Saints have 3 in a row in this third term, and the margin is out to 8 points. Can they do it again, St Kilda? 7-11-53. They lead Fremantle 6-9-45, 27 into the third.
They're plus 21 at clearance. Again, getting smashed in hit-outs. Well, that's minus 24 or something. But just turning up to contest. The shape with their hands this quarter has been brilliant. Better put their teammates in better space. Just to better find that kick and hit a target.
Their work rate, isn't it?
Yeah,
post clearance has been outstanding.
It is remarkable, that difference. Hit-outs 42-14 to Fremantle. Clearances 37-16 to St Kilda. A win the rucks tap here. Marshall got it down to Windhager, and then a strong tackle came from Jackson. Wrapped up Garcia, took him to ground. 28 gone in the third. It's been all the Saints for the last few minutes. They've got a handy lead as well, as McRae tries to take it away, and he's tackled by O'Driscoll to ground. Dominating the contested possessions in the last few minutes here, St Kilda. Neither ruck got a touch. It came to McRae again. Got it onto Higgins. The Saints are away. It was almost through Sinclair, but Clark was able to knock the kick down. Chased it back and kept going, but has given away a free kick. It's a holding decision against Clark, who claimed that he was being held, but he's given the free kick away by taking Stocker to ground on the logo southern wing. Stocker turns back. Looks all the way to Wilkie, who marks at centre half back, and he'll pop it on to Caminiti. He marks between right half back and centre wing, northern side. We'll pause for a moment. Closing stages of this third term. Only a couple of minutes left. The kick is to a packet right half forward. Conk's got a fist to it. Still down to O'Driscoll for the Dockers. Kicked in the direction of Tracy. Was made to earn it, diving forward by Caminiti, but he marks on centre wing beneath the ABC broadcast box.
2 goals in the first quarter for Tracy. Hasn't kicked one since. Rolls. Kicks inside the forward 50. Voss in front, taps it down. Amos, he was up there as well. The umpires paid the mark. They were both in the pack. I thought Voss had a pretty good piece of it with the right arm, but the umpire has paid the mark to Jai Amos. When you're out of form, sometimes you just need a little bit of luck.
We're disappointed with that. Sharman's gone behind the ball to be the spare, or the 7th. About 30 seconds to a minute ago. He's have to defend then. Jai miss 1-on-1, so that hasn't worked for him, St Kilda.
This is just his third disposal. He needs to make them count. The Dockers need a goal. Jai Amos. Kick is hung out to the right. It won't make the distance, and just saying again.
13.
Alex Taru punches it through for a rush behind. So impressed with that young man. 6-10-46 Fremantle. 7-11-53 St Kilda.
I know there's that thing where the youngsters seem to have to put a bit of a body of work together, but he must get the rising stardom after this performance. Whatever happens in the game from here on in. Wanganeen Miller, that's a lovely mark after the kick from Wanganeen Miller to Wood in a pack, marked in front of Johnson for the Saints. He's got it at right half back, and he pauses to allow his teammates to stream forward. Throws it on the boot, kicking the direction of centre wing. Spoil again from Cox at the back. Still waits, gathers, tackled by Cox immediately. It's going to be a ball up in front of the Dockers interchange gates.
7 possessions, 5 marks, 13 spoils. Very good by the kid.
Darcy won it down. Clay couldn't take it. The ball bounces away from him and over for a boundary throw in this time. Still on centre wing. Saints, who trail by 3 points at quarter time, by 3 points at half time, lead by 7 points now, late in the third. Marshall The more telling tap comes down to Hall. Gets a kick away towards right half forward. Cleverly tapped by Keeler. Then tapped on again by Owens. Gathered by Higgins. Comes to Wilson. Here's Butler off the outside of the right boot. Tries to curl it around. He'll miss, though, to the left-hand side. Couldn't get another one for the Saints. Minor score. 6-10-46 the Dockers. 7-12-54 the Saints. 32 gone in the third.
It's not a hard tap, but Garcia's putting a lot of time into Sarong here, and he's winning the battle. They stand underneath this ball as it's kicked down towards Darcy. Knocked away from him. The three-quarter time siren goes, and Garcia just claps in the face of Caleb Sarong because the Saints have an 8-point lead going into the final quarter, and they may be about to do it again and do the double on the Dockers. Clint Wheeldon.
So, for the Saints, 2 to Isaac Keeler, and then singles to Wanganeen, Miller, Butler, Marshall, Henry and Hall. While for the Dockers, 2 goals to Tracy, singles to O'Driscoll, Reid, Bolton and Clark. As I said, a 3-point lead to Fremantle at quarter time, and at half time, it's an 8-point lead to the Saints with 1 quarter to play. Earlier today, Adelaide by 68 points over the Tigers at the MCG. Adelaide 18-14, 122 to the Tigers 8-6-54. But wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, News Radio, Sport Digital and on the ABC Listen app, this is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Ben Cameron and Corbin Middlemash from ABC Sport here.
Alongside Paul Roos, Brett Delidio and Poppy Penny, we bring you all the latest AFL news from both on and off the field on the ABC AFL Daily podcast.
You can hear it all on the ABC Listen app.
Time to steady and pull the trigger!
Get ABC AFL Daily Podcast. It's your daily footy conversation. Find it on the ABC Listen app. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
To Murphy Reid, just forward of the southern wing, kicks into the pocket, Bolton backing back, takes the mark, good protection from Pat Voss, and imagine he'll have the set shot here from about 45 metres out, very, very tight angle to the right. Shea Bolton is capable of the miraculous. Shea Bolton, he's showtime. He threads the needle from the boundary. Could that be the spark the Dockers need? Bolton gets his first.
Wood hand passes back to Sharman. Got it on to Butler. He steps and kicks a goal for the Saints. They just kept working and working at it, St Kilda, and they bring the margin back to a goal. Stabs it that way to Wanganeen Millera. Hand pass onto the run of Hall. 51 out from goal. He kicks it for the Saints. He liked it a lot too. Did the double cobra. And the Saints, they're delighted with that response. And they've hit the lead here at Perth Stadium.
Ball comes to Hall, kicks towards the top of the goal square. Keeler out to mark. And some of these young Saints are tearing the Dockers apart. This to extend the margin for St Kilda. Keeler, set shot, no worries. Keeler has his second. The Saints have 3 in a row.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
If the Dockers are to win a 6th straight game and equal the longest winning streak under Justin Longmuir, they'll need to get a hurry on because St Kilda dominated that third quarter. 7-12-54 the Saints to the Dockers 6-10-46. What have our experts on Sunday Footy on ABC Sport thought of it all? Let's find out. Brownlow medalist Shane Woewodin, All-Australian and former Dockers captain Cara Antonio.
Well, I know we've harped on about it the entire call, but stoppage dominance by St Kilda. Just Fremantle way too reactive. I watched it closely that quarter. Just St Kilda midfielders just driving lead through contest. We spoke about Garcia going to Sarong. He's checking him at contest, at stoppage, but then getting on his bike and driving his legs, and their balance between inside and out St Kilda. They're on the move and they're all on the same page. They're able to chain their way out with ease, and the game almost broke open in that second half of that third, just dominating, plus 23 in clearances and plus 26 ground ball gets to St Kilda. And at the moment, for me, that's where it's been won and lost, and the Fremantle mids need to get to work.
Yeah, getting smacked around the ball, Fremantle, which Jay will be very disappointed with. He's big on the contest. as a coach too, minus 23 in that area and minus 23 in clearance. So they've got to get their hands on the ball, start getting some ascendancy and some field position from stoppage. But certainly the game started to break open a little bit that quarter. A bit more uncontested, a bit more transition. St Kilda started to find a few more holes and break it open and just get some cleaner entries when they went inside 50 too. So big challenge here for Fremantle. St Kilda been terrific on the road, so throwing the challenge, throwing the gauntlet down to them and see if they respond.
Just before some of the numbers noticed at the end of that third quarter, Andrew Brayshaw pulled all the players into a huddle before the coaches got out there and somewhat maybe read the riot act and said this is a game they need to win. Statistics-wise, the clearance count has mentioned 39-16 St Kilda's way, but they trail the hit-outs 44-16. It's been all one-way traffic. Fremantle have had 4 more inside 50s, 36-32. The tackle count, Fremantle lead that by 4 individually. Jack McRae, 23 disposals with his 7 clearances. Max Hall's had 19 touches. Jack Steele with 19. Garcia, Wanganeen, Millera and Marshall, 18 apiece. Jordan Clark, 25 for the Dockers, 18 for Brayshaw and 17 for Luke Ryan.
It's a huge moment for Fremantle here. So often these have been the games they've been able to have in their control and then let slip. And Ross Lyon has just dominated in games coaching against the Dockers. He's won 10 of the 12 times his St Kilda side have gone up against Freo. And still, Nat Fyfe has the jacket on. Neither team has made their sub. Jack Carroll for St Kilda, Nat Fyfe for Fremantle, and he'll start on the bench still as the sub. It's not a game that's really one to make you wax lyrical with poetry, but for the Dockers, surely it's sound the clarion, fill the fife. It's time for them to get going. And they're getting bashed around the middle. He is the sort of figure that could change that for them. The Saints would be thrilled that he's still sitting on the bench, and they'd be thrilled that they lead with a quarter to go. We're underway in the final term here at Perth Stadium. Last game of the round. Neither ruck got a telling tap away. It's Sarong who gathered, kicked straight into Butler, bounced down to Dudley for the Dockers, gave it to Brayshaw, kicked towards centre half forward, marked by Stocker. The Saints with a chance to go the other way. Came to Keeler, then to Steele. Kicks long into the right forward pocket. He wants Owens. Tapped it back in to Higgins. Hand pass over his shoulder. Nicely taken then by Hall. Got tackled, got it out to Owens. Hand pass again in the direction of Marshall. Worked it out to Higgins. Oh my goodness. A remarkable goal from the right forward pocket. He had no right to be able to kick that. And that is an absolute stunner from Jack Higgins, who knows how to kick the miraculous. 8-12-60 the Saints, 6-10-46 the Dockers. St Kilda could not have had a more incredible start to this final term. A minute gone, and they've done something like that to take all the sting out of the purple crowd at Perth Stadium.
Steele initially popped from centre bounce. Didn't defend it well, Fremantle. But then just to be absorbed the pressure inside 50 there. And again, we speak about Hall. Test the tackle, drive the legs. Got his hands free and shaped the footy.
Marshall again.
Just the little things, little fundamentals. Just to keep the ball alive.
Darcy v. Marshall in the middle. Garcia just pushes Sarong off it. He's had the better of him today. Gave it to McRae. High kick towards half forward Jordan Clark. He's in stoic. For Fremantle takes the intercept mark. Onto the 50 for protected area. Didn't get it. Comes to the broadcast side. Johnson marks. Short chip to Frederick. He's worked his way into the game. Goes short again to O'Driscoll. It's a shocking kick. O'Driscoll can't take the mark. Wilkie's there to knock him away. Eventually was able to gather and handball back to Chapman. In front of the interchange gates. Broadcast side. Chapman kicks up towards Jackson, who takes the mark. He has players out. He has Darcy in the pocket, who slides and takes the mark. Oh, he made him work for it. He might owe him an apology in the ruck meeting this week, Luke Jackson. But Darcy, there is the apology. Leading out from the square, playing as forward of the ball here. He's going to have a set shot.
I think they almost flipped. Jackson at that centre bounce started at full forward and as he came up, Darcy slid. Good little bit of connection, but you're right, Mitch made him work for it, the big fella.
Sean Darcy, if he wants to have an impact, this will be the way. Set shot. Sean Darcy strikes it pure. And he jumps in the air. Couple of high fives, few hugs. Sean Darcy gets his third goal of the season. It's a big one for the Dockers. They needed a reply, and they get it. 17:52 Fremantle. 8-12-60 St Kilda. The visitors hold the 8-point lead 3 minutes into the final term. Our experts for ABC Sports, Shane Woden and Cara Antonio.
Outnumbered then. I was pretty disappointed by St Kilda after that drop mark there. They were +1 around that contest and just weren't able to win the ball. Great play by Driscoll. But yeah, did make him work here, didn't he? A little tick lead by Darcy. His beak may have copped a bit of turf as he went for that mark. Yeah, it's good to see Luke Jackson push forward, keep elevating his game in that half. We can take a mark and be dangerous in the front half.
Bounce to restart. Dockers fans have found their voice again. Darcy won it down, but straight to Steele, was tackled immediately by Bolton. Ball up just forward of the centre circles for the Dockers. Darcy won it down again. Brayshaw couldn't take it. O'Driscoll tries to bustle his way through. Stocker threw himself over the top of the football. Free kick's been spotted the way of the Dockers, though. Sarong immediately inside 450. Jackson leading out marking. What a change has come over this game. Jackson, strong lead out from full forward. He's marked 35 from goal. It's about a 45-degree angle to the right.
It's funny what happens when you clean and take advantage quickly. When there's 1v1s ahead of the footy. Jackson, as I said, started at full forward at the start of this quarter. Great strong lead and connection piece there.
Elite kick.
Certainly was.
Elite.
Jackson looking for his first of the game. From 40 out. He steers it through. Game on at Perth Stadium again. St Kilda's lead is cut to 2 points. And Luke Jackson delivers the 2 rucks, back-to-back goals. Both of them standing up together for the Fremantle Dockers. 8-12-60 the Saints. Freo 8-10-58. 6 gone in the final term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden, Mitch Turner, alongside our experts Shane Woden and Cara Antonio.
Stocker didn't need to do that at centre bounce, did he? Just keep your feet, work through the ball.
Who would have thought the 2 rucks that many say shouldn't play together, they are dragging Fremantle back into it, and they've dragged the crowd into it as well. The ball is back in the middle. Can they continue to win it out, the Dockers? Darcy gathers it. Short kick. It's into the path of St Kilda. It was fumbled, though, by Wilson. The Dockers will win it here. Sarong to Brayshaw. They go inside 50. They're looking for a mark. Big pack flies. Wilkie at the back. Couldn't mark. Knocks it down. Dudley there to provide pressure. Sinclair. He couldn't take it. Dudley dives back in. He's tackled. And they can lock it in there forward 50 for the time being, the Dockers. It'll be balled up 40 metres out. Crowd has found their voice, and Kilda still in front. Darcy in front of Marshall, taps it into space, coming through. Taru, his kick smothered by the boot of Shea Bolton, ricochets out of bounds. It should be out on the full. There's confusion between the umpires. I'm sure that came off the boot of Shea Bolton diving in the air.
Above the knee, they reckon.
And I thought it was off the boot.
Yeah, you're right.
It's right off the toe. Yeah. Umpire missed it. Dockers get away with one. It's tossed back in. Tap down to Bolton. Couldn't break the tackle. He was dispossessed. Has to be holding the ball. It is. Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's what... They should have had the ball. It was Taru who laid the tackle. He's terrific. Terrific Taru. Whatever you want to say, he's been brilliant. Saints have it back. They should have already had the ball. Wanganeen Miller now.
Bit of football justice. Wanganeen Miller are back to Caminiti, who marks in the left-back pocket. Locals won't agree, but Mitch is quite right. They should have had the free kick anyway, the Saints. Caminiti beyond defensive 50 towards left half back, and Warner has been strong, and he takes the mark, getting past Wood. He's got it just shy of right half forward. He'll go short. He's able to move it on to be marked again by Erasmus. About a metre from the boundary. Still probably 70 from goal. Runs inboard and then kicks towards the right forward pocket. Leading out, Tracy! Takes the mark for Fremantle. Strong lead that was honoured, and his hands clasp the Sharon. And he'll be kicking from 45 out, just tighter than a 45-degree angle. He'll start from right half forward.
Didn't break stride, did he?
Vice-like.
Strong set of hands, strong lead.
He's already got 2 goals, Josh Tracy. Takes a deep breath to put the Dockers back in front. Sheer delight from Fremantle supporters. Tracy punches the air in joy as the Dockers take back the lead with a kick that never deviated from going right between the big sticks. He's got his 3rd. Fremantle have their 9th. 9-10-64. The Saints 8-12-60. The Dockers by 4 points in front of 41,600 fans here at Perth Stadium. Bridget Lacey is downstairs. Bridge?
Yeah, interesting that Luke Jackson started in the ruck for most of these quarters, but Sean Darcy started this last one in the ruck. Luke Jackson started forward. Then he came to the bench. He's just replaced Sean Darcy in the centre bounce, and Sean Darcy's come to the bench. So they're really working over Rowan Marshall.
It's funny what a clearance can do. The Dockers are starting to win them. Ball is in the middle again, though. Jackson v Marshall, tapped down. Garcia couldn't take it. He's still over the top. He was held. He wanted to take the advantage. Umpire said no, bring it back. So it will go the Saints' way out of the middle here. It's a Garcia free kick. Just backward of the centre circle. Goes to the southern wing. Mark taken and rolling immediately was Stocker. Kicks inside the forward 50. Wood's normally good in the air. Banfield punches it away from him. O'Driscoll had a fumble. Sarong, he's tackled. Did he have the ball? Umpire said yes. Comes back the Saints' way. Sharman just needs to gather. Does so. Chips inside the forward 50 and Cox takes a mark. For some reason it's called play on. Umpire must have spotted a finger on it on the way through. Didn't look like it. Kick up the wing from Cox. Voss drops the ball. Travalia, he's dispossessed. Now Johnson fighting with Windhager. The ball rolling towards the boundary line and goes out. I think Brendan Cox just asked the umpire what was that, but ball will be tossed back in between wing and half forward, southern side favouring St Kilda's end. They will trail the Dockers by 4 now.
Spun in. Jackson against Marshall. Marshall won it down, went straight to Clark, tackled by Steele the moment he received it, taken to ground. Right half forward for St Kilda. Saints heading to the Farmer Freeway end, to the left of our broadcast position in this final term. Marshall won this again. Came down in the direction of Windhager and got taken a bit high. We'll have the free kick at right half forward. Windhager puts the Saints deep inside their forward 50. Cox with the spoil at the back, down to Frederick. Hand pass to Cox. Hand pass to O'Driscoll in space in the right back pocket. Looks for an option. Frederick, almost crunched by Wilkie going the other way. Wilkie run it to ground anyway. Travalia gave it to Wilkie, then to Wilson, kicked inside forward 50, but turns it over. Brendan Cox takes the mark. Wood was in the contest. The Dockers fans wanted 50 for Wood making contact with Cox. It was never there, but that was the reason for the cheer. And Cox will send it back beyond defensive 50. Tracy worked underneath it by Wilkie, spilled out to Travalia. He's taken the ground. Strong tackle again from Erasmus. It'll be balled up right half back for Freo, who lead by 4 points. 12 gone in the last. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Marshall taps it down. Sarong sharks it. Handball to Jordan Clark, then to Brayshaw. The Dockers mids are finally getting involved. Kick up the wing, looking for Amos or Voss. It's out the back. Saru, one-on-one with Amos. He gathers the second gamer. Then a dangerous kick back inside 50. He brings Dudley into it. He's held without it. The umpire sees it. Oh, what a game he's had, Alex Taru. The first mistake you'd say he's made. He just missed the target as he tried to bring the ball back inside his own defensive 50. Dudley was there to pounce, and in sheer panic, Wilkie just had to grab Dudley to stop the goal. He can hold his head high, though, too. It's a bad moment in what has been a terrific game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It opens the door, though, for Isaiah Dudley. Another young man who's been making a name for himself this season. He's back into the side. And he's back on the goal kickers list. He pumps the chest. He walks with a strut. He might not be as big as Patrick Voss, but I tell you what, he had the swagger then. Isaiah Dudley stretches Fremantle's lead. 10-10-70 the Dockers. St Kilda now 8-12-60. 10-point margin. 13 in the final term. Bridget Lacey downstairs.
Yeah, St Kilda have jumped with their sub. Jack Carroll has entered the game. We're just waiting to see who it is who's going to the back of the bench for the Saints, because none of the players look like they want to do it. There we go. Looks like Dan Butler.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's almost the best. Is it the best game you've seen from a second game key defender?
He's been
good.
The last He's been very good.
Unfortunately, just fell off his shin.
Well done to his teammates, though.
Yeah,
they got around
yeah.
straight away.
Straight away.
Agreed.
Good effort from the Saints. They know what a performance he's had. Tough moment for the youngster who's been great today, and they all got around him. And the restart, brought down there by Darcy, held to him by Clark, just on the outer edge of the centre circle. St Kilda's side of halfway. We've got ourselves a ball up. Rucks had a tap, socket out of the air by Brayshaw, came to Isaiah Wanganeen-Miller, gave it to Travalia, then on to Windhager, back to McRae, hand pass up in the air. Travalia got taken to ground, just was able to work it out to Wanganeen-Miller. He's tackled by Wagner, ball up the call, left half forward for the Dockers.
Pressure's ramped up by Fremantle around the ball.
Neither ruck could get anywhere near it. Eventually it bounced back to Darcy, threw it on the boot, inside forward 50. Here's Bolton. Bolton for Fremantle, on to Johnson, meshes the kick to Brayshaw. Just long enough to be a mark. Just. But he marks in the left forward pocket, and he's taken it around about 30 from goal. And the boos are for Ross the Boss on the big screen, which was interesting.
They don't forget anything, do they?
Well, they sort of gave him a bit of a cheer when he first walked in. Dockers lead by 10. Brayshaw's on his way in. The Dockers lead by 11. Brayshaw misses to the left-hand side. 10-11-71 to the Saints. 8-12-60. 15 gone in the last. Bridget Lacey downstairs.
Confirmation for the Saints. That is just a tactical sub. Dan Butler out of the game and Jack Carroll in.
Nat 5 still unused. He sits there with a jacket on. Ball over the back from the release kick for St Kilda. Hands and knees. Steele got it to Wilson. Now to McRae running down the southern wing. Kicks towards half-board. Cox, big fist. Punches it back into a dangerous spot, though. Erasmus has to go. Did well. Stood up in the tackle. Found the handball to Murphy Reid. Banfield almost run down. Gets it to Carl Warner. Composed. Kicks it up the wing. Taru couldn't take the mark. Able to knock it down to Jackson instead. The Dockers go forward. Brayshaw, high kick into the pocket. 1-on-1. Wilkie v Tracy. It spills down to Bolton, who's tackled as he snaps. Couldn't dribble it through. Minus score. Takes the margin of 2 goals, though. 10-12-72 the Dockers. 8-12-60 St Kilda.
Saints aren't messing around. Wanganeen-Miller from the right back pocket. Kicks down the outer side of the ground. Marked there by Sharman. Will move it inboard. Here's an opportunity to get going. It comes to Clark. Back to Wanganeen-Miller. Kicks towards right half forward. This is Sinclair looking to send it inside to Higgins. Hits him on the chest. He's marked at 40 out from goal. Kicked a ridiculous goal earlier. Can he go back and convert here?
Good bit of ball movement. Clearly want to move the ball quickly.
Trots in, 45 metres out. His kick is across the face. It's through for a minus score. 8-13-61. So he scored a goal in the opening minute or so of this quarter to give them a 14-point lead, and now behind. That's all the Saints have managed on the scoreboard in this term so far. And still, Freo lead by 11 points, 17 gone in the last.
Kick out from defensive 50, and flying from a mile away is Taru, who punches it out of bounds. It's the crowd get informed of that 41,600 match attendance. Gee, watching the replay, he just leaps from so far away, does Taru. He's been brilliant. No one in the ruck, though, for St Kilda. That's the easiest clearance the Dockers will win all day. Darcy takes it, gives it to Clark, kicks up towards Voss, couldn't mark, it spills to Jackson, goes short, Tracy strong, marks in front of Wilkie, and that is a coach killer. No one in the ruck allowed Fremantle, who've been smashed at stoppage, to get the easiest clearance, and now Tracy will have a set shot.
It was the two defenders that went up to Caminiti and Turu, left Voss, I think, by himself, which, with the outnumber, very hard to defend ahead of the ball.
Changed gears, Fremantle, haven't they?
They wouldn't want the ball in anyone else's hands. Josh Tracy's normally reliable. Oh my gosh. Wow. He's hit the post. How many posters have we had?
4 or 5, I reckon.
Oh, the score changes though. 10-13-73. St Kilda at 8-13-61. It's back to a 2-goal margin. 18 and a half into the final term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
And for whatever it's worth, on both sides of the park, they've been the right-hand goalpost that's copped all the trouble. Saints again. Wanganeen Miller to Windhager, back to Wanganeen Miller. Goes charging by Bolton on the outside. Along the boundary line, his kick was poor. Reynolds on the ground. Warner picked it up. Hand pass went back to Banfield, up against the boundary line. One step, and he took it over. It's going to be a throw-in. Still Nat 5 sits on the bench.
Doesn't look like they're going to use it at the moment, do they?
No, they up there rating the Dockers midfielders anyway in the contest, but surprising decision to see him still there. Darcy won it down. Umpire spotted a free kick here. It's coming the way of Fremantle, come the way to Wagner. Clark will stand the mark.
Back in their midfield in.
Wagner goes short, finds Johnson. Still on the southern side of the ground, still less than a metre from the boundary between left half back and centre wing. How to win this. It's been a tremendous fight back after conceding the early goal in this quarter to go down by 14 points. The kick towards Darcy at left half back in a pack. Off hands, Voss not able to keep it in. Hard up against the boundary. Left half forward this time. Another throw-in. Boos again for Ross Lyon appearing on the big screen at Perth Stadium. Spun in once more from the boundary umpire. Darcy palmed it down. Clark's out after it. Does well to break away from Wilson. Got a hand pass to Chapman. Stepped inside Clark. Sweeps the Dockers hand pass to O'Driscoll. Kicks towards Darcy. Marks with the 50s painted on the logo and says, I'll be having a shot for goal. If not, at least he should be able to land it in the goal square.
Snuck forward the big fella.
He can kick this. Kicked one in a waffle grand final from distance to sink Subiaco for Peel Thunder.
Already has one goal today. Darcy from 52 out. It's not quite got the distance. It's off hands and crashing into, this time, the left goal post. Posts everywhere. 10-14-74 the Dockers, 8-13-61 the Saints. 21 gone in the final term at Perth Stadium as round 16 of the AFL wraps up. Dockers in front.
This man has been getting going in this final term. He's trying to lift St Kilda. Wanganeen Miller up. He receives the kick out. Normally likes to give and go. The kick up the middle is a good one. Marshall, he took the mark. Darcy overcommitted. It allowed Marshall to play on. Kick towards half forward. Henry juggles the mark. Plays on by hand. Gives it across to the run of Garcia. Kick on goal is away to the left. It was almost end-to-end. The umpire is coming in. I don't know what he's checking. Looked like it was just clearly over the goal line or the behind line. I don't think he even took the mark, did he?
No, juggled it.
Yeah, there you go. That's clever. The boundary umpire, the goal umpire, the field umpire come in. They decide there's no need to look at the replay. A couple of us have seen it. It's a behind. 8-14-62 St Kilda. 10-14-74 Fremantle. 22 into the final term.
Back to a 2-goal margin. The Dockers lead by as Warner beyond defensive 50 with the kick. Darcy juggled the mark against Marshall. Lost it. Spilled the ground. Wagner over the top of it. Somehow the Saints found a way out of there. Went straight to Hall. Tackled by Clark holding the ball. Jordan Clark wrapped him up. Continues to impress and press his claims. The potential an All-Australian call-up. Clark towards right half back to Frederick. Marked hard up against the boundary line. Inboard kick was meant for Brayshaw. Set him a task. Bounced into McRae. Lost possession. Wagner tried to work it out the side. Frederick can't keep it in. Ball in right beneath our broadcast box on the northern wing. 10-14-74 the Dockers. 8-14-62 the Saints. 23 gone in the final term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Here's Mitch Turner.
Darcy in front of Marshall, taps it down, ball bounced away from Sarong. He goes back in after it. He's tackled by a couple of Saints. Jordan Clark's, he may have played some better games for Fremantle. I'm not sure he's played a more important one. He has saved them. 30 disposals, number of intercepts, 10 marks. It's behind the play here. Darcy and Marshall go at it. Ball goes into space. Wagner has time to gather, run down the broadcast swing, hugs the boundary line, kicks further afield. Wilkie was in position 1A, but Tracy came late and punched it out of bounds. They take some territory, the Dockers. Ball's going to be spun back in front of the players' race between wing and half forward. It's a 12-point lead to the Dockers. They're not safe yet. There's still plenty of time. They probably want to kick another goal here. Darcy taps it down. Marshall trying to soccer it away from the contest. Wagner crashes in. He's tackled.
Saints have pulled 6 forwards right ahead of the ball now and open up stoppage. Create some grass between them and that area. And try and run it out.
It's too late to try and... Too early to soak up the clock for the Dockers. They still need to attack. Steele. Oh, he panicked. He went to sell a bit of candy. He hesitated on the kick and the handball. Brayshaw got him, holding the ball. Big tackle, leader on leader. He had an option, Steele. He just hesitated for a second, and then Brayshaw wrapped him up. Has the ball, kicking half away from goal. He sets it up. Can someone take a mark? Jackson can't. Ground level. Boss kicks on goal. Misses. Oh, that would have been a celebration to end all celebrations. It's a minor score. 10-15-75 the Dockers. 8-14-62 the Saints.
The old handy point. 13 points. The Dockers lead by it late in the final term. Ball towards the outer wing. Chapman battles away. Can't win it against Higgins. Still there to be gathered. Want to put himself over the football. Higgins wraps him up. Ball up the call. Just shy of the logo. Southern wing as far as St Kilda is concerned. Dockers by 13. 25 gone in the last. Darcy got rid of Marshall, couldn't take it cleanly. Marshall followed it up, gathered, then somehow manufactured a kick up in the air as he was being tackled. Sharman marks, just shy of right half forward. Will kick into the right forward pocket. Going up Warner over the top of Owens. He was third man there in the contest. Owens battling away against Austin McDonald and was able to knock it away and over the boundary line did Warner. Throw in. 40 out from St Kilda's attacking goal. Kicking to the Farmer Freeway end in this final turn. They need a major. They need it quickly. Put back in again. Darcy won it down for the Dockers. Taken there by Erasmus. His kick went nowhere in particular. Tapped back then by Marshall. Eventually came to Steele. Kicks the Saints into the right forward pocket. Just bounced in the field of play. And then taken over by Warner. It'll be another throw in. A bit closer to goal. Now only 20 metres or so away from the Saints attacking goal. Still the Dockers by 13. 26 now gone in the last.
Huge moments coming up in this match. Ball tapped down. Flying through O'Driscoll. Couldn't take it. Now he lays on top. Umpire says it's okay. Ball up to come inside St Kilda's forward 50. The next goal, we say it a lot, but it is huge. Darcy taps it down to O'Driscoll. He's tackled. If Freo get one more, you'd say it's probably over, but the Saints, and as it stands, they are right in it. Ball tapped down. Wagner hesitated, got a handball out. Clark, been brilliant. Gets it to O'Driscoll. High ball, big ball to win on the outer side. Tap down to O'Driscoll. He's tackled. Neutral ball. Will have a ball up. 55 metres away from the Saints attacking goal. Couple of metres in from the boundary line at right half forward. Marshall reaches over the top. Taps it down. McRae on top of it. He was taken forward.
Been more than happy with this. Sorry, Mitch. Fremantle chewing up the clock. Stoppage after stoppage.
There's 2 goals in it. Late in this game, Sarong, the clearance. He kicks it up the wing. It bounces past Tracy and Wilkie and then taken over the boundary line.
is Caminiti by Jackson. They just gained a valuable 60 metres up the wing. The ball is in the middle of the southern wing. It'll be tossed in. 27 and a half gone. Dockers by 13. Bridget Lacey quickly downstairs.
Nat 5 hasn't even moved at the back of the bench.
That is quite remarkable. And the throw-in came down off Marshall, but only as far as Sarong for the Dockers. Was able to work it out to O'Driscoll. Kick towards left half forward. Marked there by Erasmus. Spots Frederick inside forward 50. Was about to mark. Great spoil coming the other way from Caminiti. Followed it up. Slapped it forward. Only went as far as Sarong. Put it back inside the forward 50. Going up to Rue. Gathered the bouncing footy. Tackled the ground by Jackson. Ball up. Deep in the left forward pocket for the Fremantle Dockers, who still lead by 13. 28 minutes gone in the last. The rucks arrive. The umpire puts the ball into the air. Darcy gathered, took it himself, threw it on the boot, missed the lot. It's bounced across the face and over for a boundary throw-in. Fremantle trailed by 14 points 2 minutes in. The start of this term. They now lead by 13. Ball back in again. Darcy won it down once more, but Garcia was alert to it. Gathered, takes a bounce, goes on a run. A second bounce now for the Saints. Hand pass over the top to Sinclair. Has space in front of him. One bounce, a second, now a third. Still going Sinclair. Looks to kick towards right half forward, marked by Wood. Wood wheels around, has to move it on immediately. Sends it in the direction of Keeler. Tracy! At the other end of the ground, you'd normally expect to see him. Is there to spoil it through for a rush behind. 2 goals the margin. 29 gone in the last. Dockers still in front of the Saints.
We took that mark against Essendon right at the end of that game, and he's done it again, Josh Tracy. And he is off the ball here. He's calling all the players for freedom to come up the ground, clog it up. Luke Ryan has it in the defensive goal square. Eventually called to play on. Kicks it up the wing. Bolton flies, can't mark. In front, Wilkie. Strong grab. 2 goals to the margin. There is time enough. Wilkie steps around Bolton. Kicks it inside the forward 50. A mark will make it interesting. Off hands. Henry gives it to Owens. Kicks on goal.
Wow.
He's got it. That is a lack of celebration for a goal that literally puts them within a kick with enough time left. Mitch Owens has put the Saints within 6 points, and they acted like nothing happened. 9-15. 69. That's St Kilda. Fremantle at 10-15, 75. 30 and a half minutes played in the final term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. What just happened?
They had to get it in quick.
They didn't react.
Nah. Not sure if they knew how long ago they weren't.
There is time.
Yep,
there is time.
The sign's up on the bench. Players would be aware. You train these scenarios.
Freo fans would be aware too.
Forwards pulled back.
They've pulled back a player in Brayshaw to stand alongside Clark, a long way away from the centre circles. It won't matter though, because Darcy's run it down. He got it to Sarong, who sends it to Bolton and gets told to go long and forward, and he does to Amos, who marks it left half forward. And he'll soak up every second he should. Thought about going back and then quickly was told, no. In the other direction, please. Amos into the left forward pocket. Jackson falling forward, taking a mark. And that'll do it. Jackson has marked. What a performance from him. Diving forward, getting away from Wilkie. He's got it deep in the left forward pocket. It's a victory of enormous character for Fremantle. Genuinely challenged late. The Dockers have a 6th straight win. It just matters about the margin. Luke Jackson looking for his second. From 30 metres out, deep in the left forward pocket. He adds another reason to celebrate for the Fremantle faithful. He's got 2. Fremantle win by 12 points over St Kilda. We are the Rio Darkness. Rio, way to go. Give them real hearts, send them down below. Oh, Rio, give them the old Rio. We are the Rio Darkness. We're the rollers, we're the rockers. We're the mighty Rio Darkness. We're gonna roll them and we'll rock them. We're gonna send them to the bottom. And if they get up, we'll do it again. The Darkness stop at nothing, nothing. Rio, way to go. Hit them real hard, send them down below. Oh, Rio, give them the old Rio. We are the Rio Darkness. Rio, way to go. Hit them real hard, send them down below. Oh, Rio, give them the old Rio. We are the Rio Darkness. A win for the Dockers over St Kilda and their old boss in Ross as well. They led by 3 points at quarter time and at half time. The Saints led by 8 at 3/4 time, and 2 minutes into the last, led by 14. But Fremantle found a way back to win 11-15-81 to 9-15-69. A 12-point victory in front of 41,600 people. And a 6th straight win for just the second time under coach Justin Longmuir. For the Dockers, 3 to Josh Tracy, 2 to Luke Jackson, and singles to Darcy, Clark, Bolton, Reid, O'Driscoll and Dudley. While for the Saints, a couple to Keeler and Higgins, Wanganeen, Millerer, Owens, Butler, Marshall, Henry and Hall. 11-15-81 to 9-15-69. And the Dockers, who had slipped from starting the weekend in 6th and had fallen down into 8th spot, find themselves climbing up the ladder again. They'll jump back up into 6th. What a thriller. The game that was so often an arm wrestle became utterly engaging as it ticked by. Lots to like for Fremantle, and a lot to like from some of the St Kilda youngsters as well. But the Dockers have their 10th win of the season. Shane Woden, Cara Antonio, give us your thoughts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
It's actually it's a good game of footy, actually. As I said, they changed gears late, Freo, and flipped the script a little bit, didn't they, compared to the first 3 quarters around the ground, particularly around contest and clearance, and get some ascendancy, field position, and started to dominate that part of the game. And unfortunately, St Kilda just weren't able to sustain that effort for the entire 4 quarters and couldn't get the job done, and were broken in that last quarter. And I think JL, we're pleased they've got the win. It wasn't a great win, but certainly you take the 4 points this time of year and you move on pretty quickly. But good character win that one. Good fight back and get the points. When you're not playing well and your big name players didn't play well, really, so they'll take it. But Clark, who was pretty good for them all night, but they were good in the last quarter.
Yeah, you're right. I think St Kilda were the more likely team for the first 3 quarters. Something obviously was clearly said at 3/4 time that got Fremantle up and going, but you're right, the last quarter was really the difference. Fremantle dominated clearance +8, +4 for inside 50s, but they had 7 marks inside forward 50, 3 of those to Jackson, who kicked the 2, and 1 to Darcy. So for me, it was your likes of Jackson, Darcy, Sarong got busy, 8 disposals, 4 clearance, and Brayshaw had the 7 and 3 inside 50. So your big names, especially your Sarong and Brayshaws, who had limited impact and influence for 3 quarters, stood up when they needed to, and ultimately that was the difference in the last quarter, making the most of their opportunities, running on top of their ground and connecting inside forward 50.
Good question, does he know? Darcy and Jackson, he's played pretty well. Sean Darcy, I think at times Marshall was very good. probably again just fatigue late, and Darcy was, even that last centre bounce, I'm not sure what St Kilda were thinking there, but they just left Sarong. Little tap down. Probably should have had to man him up and build pressure that way and try to get it through the front, but weren't able to do it, and it was pretty good late, Darcy, and I think Fremantle welcomed him back in. His numbers were pretty good towards the end of the night. He had to hit the scoreboard as well.
Not a bad tweet from Max Gawn. That's a double ruck special in the last, says the big fella, who would know a thing or two about it.
I think it was a plan, really, too, I would have thought. Bring him in, dual ruck, go against Marshall.
It worked at the end.
Oh, yeah, it was. Nearly didn't, didn't it? But yeah, you're right, the last quarter, sometimes it's when you do win the game. 10 minutes to go.
Is that Max Gawn just complimenting Luke Jackson to try and... I thought he would say, gee, the double ruck didn't work, they got away with that.
It's interesting they didn't... I always get when they don't use a sub. No, it's been done a couple times.
And not use him at all. It never looked like trying to use him. He didn't even warm up at three-quarter time, I don't think.
No, he didn't. I watched him the entire time.
Didn't move.
And I'm prepared to say I thought with what was happening in the middle, he was, I think you agreed.
Needed him, I thought.
They absolutely needed to put him in there. And yet without him, they were still able to find a way to win.
And that's very good when they can do that. You're nearly bullying it at half-time. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought too, yeah. I was expecting to see him run out without the jacket.
Yeah, didn't do it, and I find it very interesting when the coaches don't utilise it.
It's just an extra fresh set of legs you think you just guarantee use, but sometimes your best 22, as coaches say, is your best 22, and that's how it's been for a long time, and you don't need the 23rd.
I think if they had a sub, no disrespect to Fife, but if they had a sub on the bench that was quicker off the mark and broke the lines, which is what they were after.
If that was Jeremy Sharp, he comes on.
Completely different player, whereas I think you're right, well, they had to try and work it out for themselves inside, and they did. They got on the move, Brayshaw, Sarong and the likes, and were able to capitalise.
A couple of players we'll probably talk about soon, but you may say had their best games for the club. Geordie Clark, that might be his most important game he's played. He was almost a lone hand holding them up for a while.
Yeah, very good.
Carl Warner, I thought was very good.
Solid, yeah. Well, they're not big numbers, but Geordie, half-back, but I think 6 or 7 intercepts along that. But yeah, right, he was important tonight.
St Kilda as well. They had some players definitely played career best games.
By the way, easy to play a career best game in your second game, but Alex Tarou, equal most spoils by a Saints player ever, and the equal most by any player in a game this year. 14 he finished up with.
Ever. We're talking about a club with Danny Frawley, was a great defender in the day. We've had Callum Wilkie, who's an All-Australian defender.
Gets good purchase on him too. No soft drops there. They go to Rose back. He hits it with velocity, doesn't he?
Oh, what are the mark? He's going to take a mark that sends us all into orbit as well.
Gets good airtime, doesn't he?
He does.
Flying Viking. That's what they call him, the Flying Viking.
Good player.
Flies.
Good player. Good pick up, that one.
There's a bit to unpick out of all this and go through, but just for the moment, let's head downstairs into the victorious Fremantle rooms. Bridget Lacey.
Yes, it's a lovely vibe down here. We have obviously the Starlight kids coming in with the players. Bailey Banfield, who's an ambassador, of course, for Starlight, holding the hand of one little girl here. So a little bit more subdued maybe so as not to scare the children today, but the players look very satisfied, and there's a really good crew down here today to celebrate with them. Nat Fyfe's still got that jacket on. I don't blame him, it is quite cool. And we're just about ready to go here. Great to hear some younger voices in the song. Yeah, that's a lovely touch from Fremantle. We'll have a player for you shortly.
Thanks, Bridge. Right back downstairs to you in just a moment. We'll get our experts to continue on and get more of their thoughts about what was a genuinely terrific contest at the end. Fremantle versus St Kilda, with the Dockers getting over the line 11-15-81 to 9-15-69. Of course, earlier today, the other result, Adelaide by 68 points over the Tigers, 18-14, 122 to Richmond's 8-6, 54. Anything else stand out for either of you?
Like Garcia's game. There's some young guys there. Liked Hall. Some younger names. You're not necessarily your big stars that are consistently up, playing good footy for either team. But Murphy Reid again. There's just little things. Then first-year players are just clever. He's going to be a good player for a long time too. So, but in particular those, and again, Taru. Just like seeing young kids come in the game and have impact immediately and just get given opportunity and away they go and they just become good players with time on ground and they just flourish.
Well, he became the subject of some controversy during the year, didn't he, when he was ruled out in the VFL with the suspension, and then because of the bye and the structure of the season, he was missing a much, much longer period than St Kilda would have liked. So he went a long time without footy and he's finally got himself into the side, and he's, as you said, Clint Wilden just told us, best spoils for a Saint ever. It was just, I thought I butchered the end when Mitch Owens kicked that goal. There was a minute left, and they put themselves back within 6, and they smashed them in the clearances for 4 quarters, and there wasn't one bit of celebration from St Kilda. I thought, he must have missed this.
I agree. That was surprising, knowing that there was 49 seconds, if we're going to be precise. Yep. 49 seconds left, and the Saints did not celebrate in the slightest. I would have thought that would have been a moment to genuinely get around your teammates and just give yourself that little bit of hype. I do want you to draw your attention to one thing. Now, a bit of controversy. St Kilda fans are unhappy about this final bounce. So have a look, which I'm just showing you the replay here. As far as I'm concerned, it wasn't great, but it wasn't one to be recalled. The bounce does favour Darcy, but it was going to land inside the circles, which means that's just unfortunate. And we'll get criticised because we're on this side of the country, but with respect to St Kilda, there's no way you recall that as an umpire. It was going to land in the circle, and therefore it couldn't be called back. Was it a great bounce? No, but it's the vagaries of the bounce that actually is one of the reasons why I think you want to keep it. That one did favour Darcy because of where it had to land, but if we're going to throw it up, then it always goes back to just whoever's the more athletic ruckman, and we may as well just have what we have in basketball. I am prepared the argument for different reasons.
You're right here, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, but I'm prepared to have the argument for different reasons, but specifically on that moment, if you're a Saints fan, they're not recalling that.
Can you play it again, please, mate?
It's more challenging than you'd imagine, Shane. That's why I wanted you guys to talk for a minute. It took me that long to queue it up.
I'll actually argue that it was St Kilda who dragged the player out of the stoppage and created all that space behind, which was what I was going to say. That the fact that
Hunter Clark,
if the ball favoured that end, if he wasn't dragged all the way out, they may not have been able to get out of this stoppage because you'd have a player exactly where Sarong took the ball.
Yeah. And if I'm Rowan Marshall, I'm not wrestling Sean Darcy at the centre bounce. I'm taking a run up at him and try and get some momentum on this one.
They gave Sarong the space.
Yeah.
They did the Nick Dacos move that Collingwood tried 6-7 weeks ago. They pulled him all the way out.
Yeah.
Guess where the ball went?
So Hunter Clark has moved out. Brayshaw's had to move back with him. There's space there for where it dropped. That's not what's been argued. They're arguing it should have been brought back. You're right, by the way.
I know, but
you're right.
The bounce is seldom perfect. If they had a normal structure, it wouldn't have mattered that it went there. It would have gone straight down to St Kilda's area as well, and they probably would have had a repeat stoppage.
Yeah.
They rolled the dice, it didn't pay off.
Yeah, that won't make St Kilda fans happy about it because I do know that they're blowing up on social media, but from having another look at it and another look at it, yeah, that's not the key moment. And if they hadn't decided to do what they did with Hunter Clark, then there would have been a St Kilda player there anyway. So 11 15 80. Well, happy for you to disagree with me if you want to send us a text, by the way, 0437 774 774. 11 15 81 to 9 15 69. 6 straight wins for Fremantle. There would still be some questions about the Dockers, and this is the problem with Freo, in that they've had some great wins. GWS, Port, Gold Coast, the bye, North Melbourne, Essendon, St Kilda. But when you're up against a team placed 15th, the questions will be, should you have won with a bit more authority than that? Should you have put yourself in that position when you are 14 points down? Are these fair criticisms of Fremantle?
Oh, not necessarily. The opposition are there for a reason. And sometimes they play good footy and they take away your strengths and then apply their strengths, and you're not always going to win comprehensively. And I think St Kilda, when they play good footy, they can strangle you. And I watched it against Melbourne up at Alice. They were very good that day, in particularly, and certainly around the contest, and that's what they were very good. Ross come with a plan. It was working for 3 quarters. It just didn't sustain it for that last one, and where he started to open the game up a little bit just to try and win the game when Freo got some ascendancy. And but yeah, I think sometimes you'd like to win by more, but it's just not going to happen for various reasons.
They're 3-2 against the top 8 sides this year, Fremantle. As it sits now, sides within the 8, they've beaten the Suns, the Dogs and the Crows. They lost to Geelong and they lost to Collingwood, so they've beaten some good opponents.
And lost to some very good opponents.
Well, they've also beaten GWS in 9th and Port Adelaide in 10th. So they've beaten 5 sides in the out of the other top 9. So pretty good.
I know, except I would make the point again, and Bob Murphy said it this morning, that's one of the things about Fremantle. You're just not quite sure where they're at, and his expectation, which I thought was a fair one on AFL Sunday with Matt Clinch, is that this was a game they really, if you expect them to be a genuine contender this year, this is a game that they probably should have won without the heart attack that they gave everybody throughout the day.
Agreed. What's the word? What's the word we use?
Dockery.
It's Dockery, and it had a lot of elements of Dockery for 3.5 quarters.
It's only Dockery if they'd lost. They didn't lose.
But it looked Dockery, and that's the feeling that Bob gets, that everyone else gets.
Yeah, and I would be honest, when Higgins kicked that goal out of nowhere early in that final term, I was thinking the same thing. Surely they couldn't afford to lose this from here.
Well, the other thing is St Kilda kicked 1 goal 5, I think it was, in the first quarter. So they missed opportunities early. It would have been a different story and a longer way back for the Dockers if they had have hit the scoreboard more truly.
I still think too, a couple of key areas for Fremantle too is just support for Josh Tracy in the key positional stocks in the front half. Like Jai and Vossi are still very young in their careers, and just like Josh has just elevated his game now to a all new level. And like Jai went missing tonight. That's sometimes you play on good opponents, and Vossi wasn't there either. Whether or not he couldn't get into the game because he wasn't second ruck. Very good midfield, but their smalls at ground level are very exciting.
Yeah,
it's just those key positional stocks when Josh is getting clamped. Can the other two stand up too?
Really interested about Nat Fyfe not being used. Jordan Clark was asked on Fox Footy about Fyfe not coming off the subs bench. Here's what he had to say.
It's a luxury. Yeah, I think that's the best place. If we don't need him, we don't need him. And, Fyfe's role's changed at the club now, and he just still adds such a great level head, experience. And when he comes on for little bursts, he's still got it. So, he would have loved to get out there tonight, but selfishly, I don't want to put him out there and get him risk him. I want to keep him for the back end of the year. So, no, it was good to see.
He was only going to come on tonight if there was an injury, obviously.
Oh, I don't know. I'm probably putting words in JL's mouth here, so I got no idea. But no, I love having Fyfe in the team, even just being around the group. So it's a benefit having him on the bench as well.
It's a benefit having him on the bench. I'm still surprised they didn't use him, though. Like, genuinely surprised. And then what does it do for him going forward when there has been... You get a feeling from the club, I'll go back to a Ross line saying that you don't put your Ferraris in the cow paddock, but not to bring him back through the WAFL. So now he's had one full game, and then he's been a sub and been completely not used. What do they do next week for him when they head off to the SCG? These are these long-term planning issues with Nat Fyfe, because he has to get some miles into the legs, even if he's just going to be a sub.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen him get here.
He doesn't do the postcode. Nat Fyfe, a 2-time Brownlow medalist, he doesn't do the running. I'll tell you what, though, he didn't play tonight. You would be hesitant to put him out on that SCG turf, let's be honest. Given the injuries he's had, soft tissue, and he's had all sorts of injuries, you just wouldn't put Nat Fyfe's body on that SCG turf in a week's time, would you?
It wasn't great, was it?
It was as bad as we've seen in a long time. It was worse than what we saw here in terms of players were going over everywhere. I wouldn't be putting Nat Fyfe out on that park, I'd say. And if Alex Pearce is available and fit, I wouldn't put him out there either, because he's obviously had the shin soreness, but he's got a history of broken legs and rolled ankles and some knee issues as well. If there's players that are on the edge for Fremantle against Sydney, you just say, let's try and win it without them, because that surface.
But how does a ground get past if that's the case? You know what I mean?
It takes a lot to not tick it off, doesn't it?
Well, I watched the game and I couldn't believe it.
Well, the Sydney Swans have said, their media manager, it won't be changed. And that is with, what is it? I looked, 120 mils expected on Tuesday and 90 mils expected on Wednesday. So 210 mils expected over the next week in Sydney. Good luck.
When's the game? Saturday?
Floods.
Is it?
It's the Sunday game. It's the early game on Sunday.
I'll double check.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
A lot of water. Let's head downstairs. Always keen to have a chat to this gentleman. He's standing alongside Bridget Lacey. Bridge.
Thanks, Clint. Yes, super excited to have Luke Ryan wander over for a chat. Luke, it was a tough one out there tonight, but a super last quarter by the boys to get over the line. You must be proud of that.
Yeah, definitely. We always knew it was going to be a dogfight coming to the game. It's the way they play. Ross always seems to fire them up for against us as well. And sort of like that North Melbourne game last year, we probably would have lost that. We didn't play our way for a bit. Stoppages we didn't get right. But, yeah, credit to the boys who stuck at it. And the last quarter, the last 10 minutes really set us up, so it was good.
Did you have a crack at the mids at all during the game, saying, any danger, boys, you could win those stoppages and putting the backs under pressure? Or?
Yeah, I do that every week, pretty much. That's the whole point of being a backman. But, they were a bit flat. They copped us back at half-time, but then the last quarter, I think we +8 in stoppages, so it was a good response from the boys.
There's been a lot of chatter outside the club about the 2 rucks and how it can work. Obviously, in that last quarter, it did look like it was certainly critical in the result. How do the players feel? Are you all buying into it, that the 2 rucks can work?
Yeah, we love it. If you actually look at the stats, I think we've won more with both of them playing, and we don't really see Dogger as a ruckman. Like, he can play, he's a pretty good ruckman, but he can play, as you've seen, forward, midfield, so... Yeah, I love having them both out there. As long as they're coming down the back line and taking a few marks or a few spoils, I'm happy to have both.
And it's first time your old coach, Ross, has come back to play you here in Perth. He got a few boos on the big screen. What's it like as a player when you've had so long with a coach and learnt so much off him?
Yeah, I actually talked to Ross a fair bit. I was messaging him today, sent him in the race before coming to the game, gave him a hug. And he's a good character. He's really shaped me as a footballer and a person, so I can't thank him enough. But that's footy. I love the Freo fans that get into it. He'd be loving that deep down as well. So it's good to get the win over him.
Brilliant. I'll send you upstairs for some more questions. Cara Antonio, Shane Woden, Clint Wheeldon and Mitch Turner.
Yeah, Luke, congratulations. Shane Woden here, mate. Was a terrific win. As you said, a dogfight and a really dour effort, mate. A real character win too. What was the three-quarter time message? You didn't say you didn't like a lot about your game. Was it particularly around midfield? Was it structure? Was it effort? Was it craft? Around those stoppages, what was it you didn't like?
Yeah, we thought that they got numbers to the ball a lot more than us. They had we weren't given enough second, third efforts, and they really outnumber us in surging. And we at three-quarter time we just said, get the ball going forward, surge, get into. We played Luke Jackson forward for the first 5-10 minutes. We thought just get it in deep, get into our tools, and really lock it in our front half. And the boys got on top, and we played some front half footy, which was good.
Wasn't a game for long down the line. Oh, sorry, it was more a long down the line game today. It wasn't one where you could pierce through the middle or go around them. Were you expecting that today?
Yeah, definitely. They're a very good defensive team. Not many teams can get through them, and we pride ourselves on defence, and they didn't get through us as many as well. So it's a typical St Kilda Freo game, very defensive.
Luke, Cara Antonio here. Congratulations on the win. I thought your back six were fantastic tonight, put under a lot of pressure. In particular, I thought Jordan Clark's probably best game for the season. What's his role? Because he looks like he zones off a little bit and he's got a bit of a licence to take the game on.
Yeah, well, he's actually always the highest one. We want him around stoppages as much as possible. We want the ball in his hands. But yeah, he just reads the game so well. He's got really good speed. He's a real attacking threat for us as well, but his defensive efforts this year, like going back with the flight, taking a few marks, is what we really love, and he's a big leader for us, and we feel like he's playing some unbelievable footy, and he's got a lot more to give as well, so I think he's having an All-Australian year, so hopefully keeps keeping that form pushing later in the year.
I think we all agree with that up in the box here. And Oscar McDonald obviously came back into the side. I know he's played a few games this year, but floated forward in recent weeks. Having him back, what kind of element does he add to the back six for Freo?
He's a smart man. He's probably one of the smartest players at the club, which is not hard. But yeah, no, he gives a lot. He's got really good ball use. We need a bit more confidence. He's got to get a bit more confidence in himself. But yeah, if he keeps playing each week, we know what he can do. And yeah, loved having him out there. He's a good mate, so it's good to see.
Speaking to Fremantle defender Luke Ryan after their 12-point win over St Kilda. Luke, Mitch Turner here. Thanks for your time. Well done on the win. A couple of other players I'd like to ask you about. Carl Warner seems to have found a spot in that backline this year. He looks like he's becoming more and more confident and composed. What have you made of his development? There are a couple of moments today looked like he stood up for you.
He went. I think the first game when we played against Geelong, he got a fair few things wrong, and he really took the feedback, went back to Peel and played some good footy, and he hasn't taken a backward step. He puts in a lot of work. He listens. He's brave. He's courageous. He does all the team things. So I think he's going to be one of the best intercept backmen or toughest backmen going around in a couple of years. I'm really excited for his future, and he's a good kid as well, so it's good to see. But yeah, if he keeps putting that work, he's going to get rewarded, that's for sure.
Can I ask you about one of the St Kilda players who was up the other end of the ground, but you've been a terrific intercept defender for your career, a two-time All-Australian yourself, but we saw Alex Taru, the Flying Viking they call him, in just his second game today. We thought he was enormous for St Kilda. What did you make of looking across at him at the other end of the field? He looked pretty impressive for a youngster.
Yeah. I thought he was outstanding. I actually spoke to Ross about him, and he loved him. He's a good character, and he's courageous. And yeah, watching, I was like, geez, who's going up and spoiling? I reckon he had about 10, 15 spoils. He reads the play so well, and I think they found one there, definitely. And if he can get his ball use going, I think, yeah, he could be a very, very good player for a long time. So well done to St Kilda finding one there.
Gee, that's a good shout from you, Luke. He had 14 spoils, which is a record for any St Kilda player. Quite remarkable what he was able to do. Did you watch Friday night's game? I'm curious. Did you see the game at the SCG?
The slipping and stuff.
Yeah, because that's where you're heading next. And I bring that up not only because the surface hasn't been great, but apparently Sydney's expecting just a casual 210 mils of rain between now and when you play early on Sunday.
Yeah, it doesn't worry me. It's harder for the forwards to mark the ball and kick goals, so it's good. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Let it play out, but see what happens. I can't really comment on grounds too much.
I just have one more for you, Luke. I don't want to stitch him up, but I'm looking out of the ground. I see Will Brodie running. I see Jeremy Sharp running. You had a former captain out there today who you didn't use in Nat 5. He was a sub. He never came on. Where's his running session? I've never seen an unused sub not do the running. What's going on there?
I think when you're a two-time Brownlow medalist, you can say a few things and get away with a few things. So I don't know. He might do some running tomorrow or something like that, but he's in good spirits as long as we win.
Yeah, he's played the two-time Brownlow medal card. Yeah. That's fair enough. A last one for you, mate. Really appreciate your time. Can you put into words what it means, just for the second time under your coach, Justin Longmuir, you've been able to win 6 straight games? That is an incredible achievement, but what does it mean for the group after what was a pretty tough start of the year?
Well, we don't really talk about it 6 in a row. We say we won 1, so yeah, it's really good. Since St Kilda last time we played, and we had a really good chat, players led. We were hard but fair and honest on each other as a group and as a team. And ever since then, blokes playing like men, doing the team things. And credit to JL. He hasn't really changed anything. The vibe's always still the same, win, lose or draw. And we got full faith behind him. He's got full faith behind us. And we keep playing the way we value the right things, and footy can turn around pretty quick. So that's only 1 win in a row, and we look forward to next week.
Well, it's 1 win in a row 6 times. Well done. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully we'll speak to you again soon throughout the rest of the season.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
He's terrific value, Luke Ryan. I always enjoy having a chat with him downstairs in the Fremantle Dockers rooms. The Dockers winning today by 12 points, 11-15-81 to St Kilda's 9-15-69 in front of 41,600. Fremantle by 12 points. And the other game, of course, today Big win to Adelaide. Richmond now with 6 straight losses, by the way. 18-14, 122 the Crows by 68 points over the Tigers, 8-6-54. Couple of text messages to go through. Rick from Margaret River, who's always good on the text and likes to send us a letter or two as well. G'day to you, Rick. Bob was right and we take your point, Clint, but if you win every game by 1 point against whoever, you're the premiers and you're undefeated too. It's Fremantle. What do we expect? Fantastic work, team. I'll put the defib away for another week. Thanks, Rick, for getting in touch. Danae on the bus home to Basso. Another relaxing night at the footy with a big exclamation mark. Starlight games are a fave on the calendar, but that was hard work. And how many shots on goal hit the post today? I reckon at least 6.
You've said 6, okay.
I reckon at least 6.
Oh, yeah, I can add 3 down.
There was 3 down this side.
Couple down there.
There was at least two on the right-hand goalpost at the city end and 1 on the left, because I remember that was the shock that it wasn't the right-hand one. I reckon 6.
How do we get that stat?
Well,
I'm not sure.
It might pop up during the week, but I reckon it was more. There was a couple also that were spoiled and hit the post as well, which would count as a poster. The magnet was there, the leather magnet.
The leather magnet, that was quite funny. I apologise.
What are you looking at, Shane?
Ross's face in the presser. Just, what sort of question is that?
Oh, well, let's find out what sort of question it is. Ross Lyon, the St Kilda coach, is currently facing the media. Let's have a listen.
Just starting with your thoughts on the match for 3 quarters. I think at 3 quarters time, the clearance count read 39-16 or something like that. How did you see the game in general and especially that clearance battle?
Yeah, in general, I thought we played with plenty of spirit, plenty of fight, and our execution just left a fair bit on the table. That's what I thought.
The final quarter?
I thought they sort of got on top around clearance and then took marks inside forward 50. We know aerially we've been a little bit undersized, but you couldn't have been more thrilled with our young defenders. Like Taru's pretty impressive lad, isn't he? So we really like that. I thought Cam Manetti's second half was really strong and Wilkie. So but with that amount of supply and then some young players, we could have defensive feel and all those sort of things. But I thought our emotional bravery to come into state, the young players and fight, was pretty impressive.
It's twice in the space of 8 weeks you've really been able to win that clearance battle. Not just win it, but win it comprehensively.
Pardon?
It's twice in the space of 8 weeks that you've been comprehensively able to win that clearance battle. Well, what did you do in particular to have...
2 games we didn't run any tags, so that was pretty evident. So we just get proactive in there and good body work and good spirit. So clearly Robert Harvey and his mids have good method and they understand them pretty well. So, but I mean, they're absolute quality, those young players.
Hit the post, truckload of times.
Oh, did we? How many?
Oh, no, well, what
I know it was at least 3, I reckon. Yeah, I don't know.
And so did they, but you just really think it bang for buck?
They got wide posts here, have they?
Possibly. You feel this working?
They got a lot going on here.
You bang for buck from that clearance dominance?
Oh, look, I think it ended up okay. They only scored from clearance in the last quarter, a lot of points, but it gave them field position. It was a bit of execution. I thought we started hot and just missed real opportunities. I feel like we left a lot on the table when we had ascendancy, but, I mean, that's nothing new, but we're just going to build out decision-making quality and train up.
When you got by 14 in the last quarter, what did you need to see from them in that moment when Fremantle went bang, bang, bang to prevent that from happening to you?
Well, I think you just win the ball and make the tackle. We didn't win the ball well, a couple of fumbles. It's often, everyone wants to talk in abstract terms what went on. It's about the basics. Make the tackle, don't fumble, hit your target. That's what happens a bit.
The lockdown jobs on Sarong and Brayshaw?
There weren't any.
Well, in terms of how you handled them?
Well, there weren't any lockdowns.
Well, even just
Jack Steele just went and played and McRae went and played and Windhager played on the wing. There wasn't one lockdown. The one that got tightest attention was Bolton when he went forward with Stocker. So, no lockdowns. We didn't have a lockdown in the last quarter. Did you think there was lockdown?
Not so much a lockdown, but just opponents playing on...
Oh, competing?
So, yeah.
Okay. We competed pretty well.
You have lockdown in other games, though, and you didn't, as a Windhager doesn't go in this time. Garcia had gone to both times against Fremantle to do big jobs. So what is it about that combination?
He didn't do a job, he just played.
As in the being centre square, which is a big job, I would say, compared to...
He's a second year AFL mid. We drafted him to mid. We're developers. Like when Brayshaw came in and played him his first 44 games straight, didn't we? That's what we're doing. And then you get reward for that, right?
What made you confident they could play without a lockdown against...
They did it last time. Windhager played on the wing last time. Garcia played, McRae played, and Steele played. I don't know, maybe it's just... Sometimes you match up with pretty well, and Rowe... maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just the circadian rhythm of Saints versus Dockers. They just... I don't know. I can't... Well, I can explain it a little bit, but yeah, I think that's a simple explanation. They go and compete pretty well.
Yeah, I guess what we're trying to ask, it's so rare for Sarong and Brayshaw to not have big numbers when they're not being tagged. So what do you do so well?
I got no idea. I'll have to maybe put some juju on them. I don't know. Bad juju.
You mentioned Taru before, like, it's fantastic what he's done. Like,
who?
Taru?
Yeah, it's only... When's his second game, is it? Yeah. What do you think?
Like, his ability to know when to spoil and when to mark, and when, like, his decision making under pressure was really impressive at making the right call. What is it about the way he plays that has been able to allow him to sit?
Well, he had a lot. I'm loath to... He's a second game player, right? But he was a pick 8, compensation pick was Travaglia. So look, we I think everyone Australia-wide knew, but we saw him as a 10-year player. We're hopeful, and Travaglia, so generational player, hopefully. Still a lot of work to go, but his athleticism and competitiveness is elite. So there's some really good signs. I think there's a little bit... He had a massive third quarter. He had a pars defect, so he didn't do any pre-season. So Keegan, our rehabber, just 1-to-1 and rehabbed him for months and months and months. So I think he's played 3 or 4 VFL games because he got that 4-week suspension. So he's coming off a short runway. But I think if you're looking for things to celebrate, little micro goals, and you're a Saints supporter, you look at him and you look at Garcia, there's a bit to like.
So a bit about Taru and a bit of Juju. That's the lines to
That's
take.
what you got out of it?
Yeah, that's what I got out of Ross Lyon. He's always entertaining to listen to.
Yeah.
He is right, though. There is a bit to like about the young St Kilda defenders. Travaglia was outstanding, and Taru in a second game. Well, he's going to be some sort of player if that can continue. Let's get the votes. Cara, Shane, in the ABC Footballer of the Year and the Christian Medal. How have we voted?
I'm looking forward to your text, Clint, on Monday or Tuesday. And
everyone loves it.
Yeah. Be tough today. Real arm wrestle for 3 quarters. So gone 1 vote to young Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Thought he's terrific. So it's a hard role to play, that high forward. He's had it 21 times and hit the scoreboard. He's terrific, 400 metres game. So I get him the 1. Garcia was terrific around the ball, 2. So I get him 2. He's 10 clearance, 7 ground balls. So I thought he was fantastic in there. Just gave him good energy and good legs. And then I thought Geordie Clark got the 3 tonight. Across the 4 quarters performance was tremendous for Fremantle. Really helped him get over the line.
So 1 to Hall for St Kilda, 2 to Garcia of St Kilda, and Jordan Clark gets the 3 votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year, which means we need a 2 and a 1 for the Christian Medal.
2 to Brayshaw, and 3 to Luke Jackson.
Sorry,
1 to Luke Jackson.
1 to Luke Jackson.
Sorry.
That's all right. No problems. And Geordie Clark, of course, picks up the 3. It's funny, we had a call on the Sunday Footy Forum about how seriously do our experts take the votes. And I said very seriously, because everyone gets a text message about how they compare to the coaches' votes.
I always look at the coaches' votes.
Always.
Yes, having been in that scenario, and it's a minefield on a Monday trying to go through and pick a 5. Like sometimes you can get the 5 players, then some weeks you'll see 10 players on that list. So both coaches have got different ideas as to who actually performs.
Does the head coach always do it just solo, or does the assistants? You've been an assistant. Do they have an input?
Yes. Yep. We do.
How much of one?
Huh? Sometimes you get it handballed to you, like the ABC Footballer votes.
I think sometimes Leper may have just gone, "No, you boys take it today."
Good insight.
Good result for Fremantle today. St Kilda really did show some promise, and certainly hitting the front early in that final term by 14 points. Looked to almost be able to have this game, but Fremantle doing enough when required. big step forward from the two rucks, Jackson and Darcy. They started to win it around the middle, and they kicked some goals, particularly Jackson wrapping things up, and a good goal too from Dudley and Tracy with his 3. Thanks very much, everyone. Really enjoyed the day. Hope you did as well. If you're listening on local radio, off to your regular programs. If you're on Sport Digital, we'll be taking you across for the game still here in Perth between the Matildas and Slovenia after a 3-0 win in their opening game. Currently, the Matildas, after 19 minutes, it's 0-0 between them and Slovenia. And 2 games in the Rugby League. Melbourne beat Cronulla by 24 points and North Queensland by 8 over the Gold Coast Suns. Wraps up round 16 of the AFL. Freo by 12, Adelaide by 68. On behalf of the entire team, Clint Wilden signing off and saying bye for now.